It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas.
Oh, let's review.
We'll analyze the scene
Sounds holly jolly to me.
before it's over. Let's begin.
Bum.
Bum.
That's right, folks. Since the Christmas season is upon us, we thought the way to celebrate and get into the holiday spirit would be with some holiday reviews.
12 to be exact, decoratively divided into 4 categories for your Yuletide pleasure.
So without further ado, silver up those bells, light the multicolored lights, and go out and build a snowman. And join us as we get into some seasonal shenanigans. And tonight we're unwrapping probably the most bonkers Christmas pitch we've ever done. Justice League DCEU Christmas. Oh boy, Dragon. Oh boy.
Yeah. Of course, as part of our traditional, we do a pitch every seasonal shenanigans, and that is our pitch this fine evening.
Dragon, you wanted to do Luke Cage, but I wanted to do something that was a little bit more ambitious. I wanted to perform a miracle, Dragon. A Christmas miracle, if
I
you
just
will.
I honestly threw this out there as just kind of like I swung for the fences with this one, bringing it up, and I was amazed that you took this.
Oh, I took it. I took it and I ran with it, my friend.
Because basically, when we were kind of spitballing, Justice League had just come out, so it was kind of on our minds, and we had talked about it. It's like, hey, Tiki, what about you would be this Justice League? Heck yeah! Didn't quite go
No,
down
here's the
like that.
thing, Dragon. Justice League. We've talked about this before. I actually quite enjoy Justice League. I enjoy Justice League more than most any other DCU movie. Like, I'll grant that Wonder Woman is probably the better film overall, but Justice League is just a fun, like I call it like a large popcorn and Coke movie. You know, it's just like you sit in the theater, you munch your popcorn, you don't have a care in the world. Like, I actually quite enjoy Justice League.
And
So
I also enjoyed Justice League as well. Yeah, not again. It's still I'd put number two in all the DC films. It was a good experience. Yeah, it could have been again a little rough around the edges, but they got editing stuff to kind of blame that on. So again, on the whole, it's like, yeah, it was a fun time.
So, Dragon, just to preface my pitch,
Yes.
essentially what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap a meta narrative into this whole thing. I'm going to wrap a meta narrative into the shooting of this special, basically how every actor was kind of contractually obligated to do this special. Some were happy to come back, like folks like you'd imagine, like Ezra Miller and Henry Cavill, very excited to come back. Other folks, of course, like the media darling himself, Ben Affleck, maybe not so much.
The media dark. Did you come up with that, or has that been around?
Well, I'm just kind of being facetious at this point because, I'm sure DC like is not really thrilled with how outspoken Ben Affleck is, but
I
I
know you're being
digress.
facetious, but at the same time, it sounds like such a lovely nickname from the media
Ben
darling Ben
Affleck, the
Affleck.
media darling.
I gotta tell you, that's kind of adorable. I like that. That's nice.
Oh boy, Dragon. Well, so here's the deal, Dragon. Essentially, what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay out the meta narrative in this is going to be framed as a Christmas special, but you're just going to have to use your suspension of disbelief, right?
All right.
You're going to have to use a suspension of disbelief with essentially this meta narrative going on is like it ties into stuff that actually happens specifically during the third act of the special, but more so it's just kind of like my way of just interjecting more craziness and more kind of like holiday spirit into the whole thing. And honestly, Dragon, I think some of the most heartwarming stuff is in these meta narrative sequences. So the meta narrative sequences essentially bridge the acts.
Okay.
All right, so we see a tired Bruce Wayne watching news reports about the Justice League's failures on TV, right?
And of course, folks, we're also going act by act as we tend to do
Of
here. So
course, this
Diggy's
is Act
starting with
One
act.
for me.
Exactly. Okay, keep going.
Okay, so we see Bruce Wayne. He's getting drunk off eggnog. He's not happy about it at all. He's just kind of like in this bat cave, right?
Uh
But
huh.
then the door opens and in walks Matt Damon.
So remind me, just Matt Damon, or it's like Matt Damon playing a character?
This is Matt Damon. This is just Matt Damon.
So kind of like Thor Ragnarok, Matt Damon.
No, Dragon. Okay, so basically what this is this revealing, like, so it's kind of a fake out. Like, essentially, like, we start the meta narrative essentially mirroring Affleck as Bruce Wayne, where he's in his Batcave, that we know that Ben Affleck actually built a Batcave in his house.
To be fair, Kevin Smith lives there now.
Oh, he does?
Yes.
Okay, well, you know what? Ben Affleck retreated to Kevin Smith's house after the failures of Justice League. All right, can we just...
Or let me ask you this. I'm going to see if I can push your meta narrative even further here. Could we say that this is amidst kind of all the, like Affleck now, he's a free man, and now he might rekindle his friendship with Kevin Smith?
That's exactly what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. Like, Kevin Smith is like, hey, bro, look, like, the media might be crapping on you, but you've always got a friend in me, man. Just like the Toy Story song.
Isn't that nice? Now we got kind of a little Kevin Smith in there, too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Okay.
Keep going. I'm interested. Keep going.
Okay, so you see what I'm saying, though? This meta narrative starts with kind of like the fake out that it looks like Ben Affleck actually is Bruce Wayne in the Batcave watching a news report about the failures of the Justice League. But then it turns out he's watching a news report about, like, the box office failures.
All right, that's cute. I like that. It's kind of clever.
Okay. And then Matt Damon walks in, and, Matt Damon is, he's
in real life, he is Ben Affleck's Robin.
Yeah, exactly. Right. That's exactly why I included Matt Damon. And Matt Damon, he has a bunch of presents, and let's see. So Ben Affleck tells Matt, he's like, Matt, they wrote me into something, Matt. Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in under contractual obligation, Matt. And then Matt's like, oh, God, Ben, what is it? I mean, come on. Are they fast-tracking the Matt Reeves movie? No, I wish. I'd be all over that at this point. We're doing a Justice League Christmas special. Matt, Ben, you can't be serious, Ben. Look, Matt, it's right in the paperwork. It was in the fine print, Matt, right from the get-go, Matt, right from the damn get-go. They had Christmas special. And so Matt Damon, he's like, okay, you know what, Ben? I was contractually obligated to do the fourth Bourne Identity movie, and critics kind of tore that one apart, and I never want to come back to the Bourne Identity movies again. But you know what? In retrospect, I got a nice vacation out of shooting, the Bourne Legacy or whatever the hell that movie was called. I don't even remember myself. So maybe this will at least be a good vacation for you, Ben. All right, see you later, Ben. I'm gonna be off on my more successful career because I was just in The Martian and now I'm gonna be in Downsizing. So see you later, Ben. Good luck to you, buddy. This was like kind of like a morally obligated cameo on my end. All right, Dragon. So we cut to Henry Cavill, and Henry Cavill he still hasn't shaved the mustache, right?
God, that poor man. I feel so bad for Henry Cavill with all the mustache stuff. I really do.
Oh God. Okay. So he's got tears streaming down his face watching the box office reports for Justice League. Tears.
Poor
and the tears are like just streaming in his mustache and just making a mess.
Ah, God, now he's making it gross.
And he gets a knock on the door, right?
Yeah.
And it's Ezra Miller.
Okay, hey, Ezra Miller. Hey,
so Ezra Miller shows up, and he gives Henry an envelope and winks and leaves. Henry looks at the contents of said envelopes, instantly jumps in the bathroom, shaves his stash, and we see that he's been wearing his Superman S proudly under his work shirt this whole time. All right. Meanwhile, Ray Fisher and Jason Momoa are trying to impress people at bars that they're in Justice League, but everyone says that they suck, that Justice League sucks, that they were the worst parts of the movie. Meanwhile, Gal Gadot walks in and makes a grand entrance, and people cheer like, yay, Wonder Woman, Wonder Woman. And everyone, and Gal Gadot buys around a house, and she's clearly the most popular DCEU star.
It really sounds like you're writing like remember that Nightmare on Elm Street movie, like Wes Craven's New Nightmare?
Yeah, right. That's kind of what I'm going for, Dragon.
That was a clever movie, so let's keep going with it. All right. So everyone loves Gal Gadot.
So meanwhile, we get the villain of the piece, Dragon. We get Jared Leto.
Oh no!
Yeah, Jared Leto's the villain. All right.
Now, Tiki, let me ask you this:
something very nefarious.
Now I got to ask you a really meta question here, Tiki.
Okay.
Jared Leto, is it an actor playing Jared Leto, or is it actually Jared Leto?
This whole meta narrative is just you just have to use your imagination and just imagine all these actors in the Christmas special circumstances.
Sure, all right. So is Jared Leto playing? Wait, no, is it Jared Leto or is it Jared Leto playing Jared Leto?
Let's say it's Jared Leto playing Jared Leto.
I wonder if he's going method for it. Anyway.
God. Okay, so Jared Leto is at his computer. He's getting word that DC is developing a Justice League Christmas special as a last-ditch effort to salvage the DCEU. What's worse? He's being replaced by Mark Hamill.
Tiki, in what universe is that worse?
Well, it's worse for Jared Leto.
Oh, right, sure.
It's worse for Jared Leto.
I was just thinking like everyone else from over there.
No. It's worse for Jared Leto. And Leto, he's not standing for that. You know, he's like, okay, you know what? I'm sick of this. They cut my role for Suicide Squad, and now they're saying that DiCaprio's going to be the Joker, and now Mark Hamill gets to be the live-action Joker, too? You have that role for 20 years, Mark. Let someone else have a chance. All right, anyways, so Leto's not standing for it, and he gets a call from Margot Robbie. And Margot Robbie has basically lost her mind over all the confusion about which Harley Quinn movies are actually being made.
Oh, jeez.
Because there's like 5 of them in development, and so she's just going crazy with confusion over that.
That is really weird how we do have almost 5 Harley Quinn movies in the works right now.
But you see how this meta-narrative is starting to, like, kind of have weird shades into the actual story.
Tiki, I'll tell you this, as an alternative kind of disaster artist kind of pitch, I'm loving this. So.
All right. Oh, Dragon, I think you're going to love this whole thing. So anyways, so we have a nice one-scene kind of cameo. It's a very loving, everyone's kind of embracing Zack Snyder back to the set to direct this thing.
Okay.
And everyone's just like, Zack, you know, like, basically, we don't really address exactly what happened with the family tragedy out of respect, but, you know, just like really sorry for your loss, Zach. You know, glad to have you back, man. Glad to have you back. That, you know, that, listen, that, you know, no disrespect to Joss Whedon, but oh man, he made Ben Affleck say some really jokey things. Yeah, he made me talk about how much my back was thrown out. Batman's back never gets thrown out. Anyways. Okay, so Cavill tries to give a speech to pump up the rest of the cast, and Ezra Miller's eating it up. You know, Ezra Miller's just like, yeah, all right, we're Batman, and I'm the Flash, and this is awesome. But Affleck, on the other hand, shows up to the set drunk and starts going off on what a directionless hack Snyder is for ruining Batman, ruining the character. It's just a big scene. And Gal quickly defends Snyder and clears things up. But things are starting off on the right foot, so it's basically just a hectic first day on set. And that's where I'm going to end the meta-narrative for now, Dragon.
That's the end of Act 1?
No. That's the end of the meta-narrative of Act 1.
Well, okay, so...
I actually have a Justice League Christmas special. Don't you want to know what the actual special is?
Yeah, you're right. But let me get... So the meta-narrative ends with Gal Gadot kind of breaking up kind of Affleck's little scene on set.
Yeah.
Okay, so now so after the meta... Okay,
so then after the meta-narrative, we get into the actual special.
Okay.
All right, so the Christmas special starts with it's kind of like a Christmas with the Joker style blowout extravaganza. Joker, along with Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy, are basically going on the world's biggest shopping spree, and Gotham's elite shopping districts are the playground. Dragon, I mean, come on, who better to play Poison Ivy than, say it with me,
Vera Farmiga.
Yep, you got it.
Well, yeah, honestly, I'd go by the Schumacher casting philosophy on Poison Ivy. That one basically cast the most beautiful woman in Hollywood. In this case, one of those talented actresses in Hollywood, Vera Farmiga.
But here's the thing about Poison Ivy is that Poison Ivy is kind of like a cool mom who's hanging out with these crazy kids.
With Formiga behind the role, Tiki, I mean,
Yes, that's the dynamic I'm going
Tiki,
for. Exactly. It's like it's kind of like tailor-made for Formiga.
Tiki, I'm sold 8 ways to Sunday on Formiga as Poison Ivy. Keep going.
Like kind of like an older Poison Ivy, like an older librarian Poison Ivy who wants to, hang out with these crazy kids.
I tell you, Tiki, I would die to see, Formiga, Poison Ivy, and Harley Quinn have kind of a gal pal movie. Honestly, that's the thing I want to see desperately. Is oh my god, that'd be fantastic.
Okay, so the Justice League is flying around in an old piece of Green Lantern tech towards the city. Batman is looking incredibly pissed at the Joker and just wants to end all of this. Superman is doing breathing exercises to prepare for his first real encounter with the Clown Prince of Crime.
Okay, hold. I get clarified. Okay, so Green Lantern tech.
Yeah, they're basically flying around in like a Green Lantern ship.
So you're pulling from the Green Lantern movie, then?
Yes.
The 2009 version.
Yes.
Well, actually, 2000. I don't know, like the day again. Kind of scary. I think it's 2000. Doesn't matter. The point. Okay, so Superman is doing breathing exercises. Not Cavill, or is it Superman?
Well, I'm just saying Superman is he's just nervous about because this is the first time he's encountered the Joker.
Sure, man. I'd like that. I just want to make sure it's Superman, not Cavill. But okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, all this is the characters, Dragon. Right. All this through the end of Act 1 is the characters.
That to me is really interesting. It's kind of Superman, taking those little breathing moments of Superman. I really like.
All right, I'm glad you like it. Okay, let's see. Wonder Woman, Cyborg, and Aquaman stand as the straight ones in the group, while Flash can't contain his excitement. Like, oh my god, I'm about to do battle with the Joker, and Batman's here! And also on board, Dragon, just as a fun cameo to get them in the mix, we have Captain Boomerang and Deadshot, because they know Harley Quinn. They're gonna, they were kind of recruited by Amanda Waller to be on this, to help out the Justice League. Of course, they've got the, they've got the implants in case anything goes rogue. So we'll see what happens with them.
Okay.
But I just thought since this might be the last time we see the DCEU, might get some.
I desperately tried to work Deadshot and Captain Boomerang into mine, but
trust me, I don't have much with Deadshot and Boomerang. They're mostly just a gag. But
I don't know what I want to do with them, but the fact that they have bombs in their necks so it would never go down. So.
Right.
That's for me. I'm just saying yours. Let's see what you get. Let's see what you do.
Okay, so Joker and Harley are running around the stores, and Joker has a Santa beard, which is basically the Mark Hamill beard, Dragon. That he still hasn't shaved from Star Wars.
Oh, jeez.
And and this is how you can't recognize that it's not, that it's not the Jared Leto Joker. Like, that's how they try and get away with that.
Right.
And so let's see. Joker and Harley are doing their thing, but Ivy, Dragon, this is kind of something that goes off the rails with Ivy a little bit, but Ivy is basically giving life to Christmas trees via a special serum. So we're kind of going the, kind of like the crazy plant sci-fi direction with Ivy in this.
Yeah, I like that.
Okay. And that includes a big climatic act, a big climatic, like not end of Act 1, but basically like the end of the first action sequence fight with a giant Christmas tree, like a giant living Christmas tree in Gotham Town Square, where the whole league has to get in and, defeat this giant Christmas tree.
I'm dying to see this special. Keep going.
All right, so Aquaman chops off the walking, let's see, he chops the walking trees down with his trident, and Supes uses his heat blast to burn them. Let's see, Batman and Wonder Woman start to pursue Harley and the Joker. Boomerang starts to turn on the league, but Deadshot puts a bullet in him because Deadshot is a professional, and that's why we're called the Suicide Squad, baby.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that's just a way to kill off Captain Boomerang. Just,
I mean, it wasn't the wound. You mean it's a dead shot?
Yeah, it's a dead shot, yeah.
Huh. Never would have guessed.
Okay, so Joker and Harley Quinn are quickly apprehended by Batman, and Diana is, let's see. I'm sorry, but they're quickly apprehended by Batman and Diana in a nice display of teamwork. Ivy's plant creatures are out of control, which leads to Gordon. Oh God, Dragon. Okay. Yeah, Gordon Okay, this might be the most ridiculous thing, Dragon. Oh God, you're not gonna like this.
Well,
I
I'll be
know
the
you're.
judge of it. So tell me, what have you cooked up for one of
So
my beloved
Gordon,
fictional characters?
Gordon is basically kind of like the liaison between all the heroes in the DCEU now,
Huh?
which means that he is the liaison who calls upon the Lantern Corps as well to help out. So he has a bat symbol and he also has a lantern symbol.
Ah,
Yeah. I'm switching it up. I'm switching it up, Dragon.
look, Tiki. I'm giving it the benefit of the doubt. I kind of get it that again, like Gordon, if you can summon one hero, and
Like,
that
yeah,
was
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, Gordon is kind of like taking on the role of, he's essentially kind of like almost like the Nick Fury of the Justice League in a way. You know what I mean?
I'll give you Tiki. I'll give you the stamp, but I don't support the stamp.
Okay. Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. Anyway, so we get cameos by Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart.
The talk show host? No, I'm just kidding.
God. Dragon, I kind of did a little bit of an age reversal of these two. I kind of made Hal Jordan kind of like the older, wiser one, and Jon Stewart kind of like the younger and experienced one.
What do you got for him?
So I've got Sam Rockwell as Hal Jordan.
Ooh.
And I've got Michael B. Jordan as Jon Stewart.
That's fun. That's reversing. I love it.
All right. Oh, I'm glad you like it. Glad you like it. So, like I said, we don't see much from them, but but just kind of like they come down and save the day from the giant tree and everything. All right. So Ivy's taken into custody, and let's see. The Joker naturally vanishes before the authorities showed up, but what to do with Harley is an issue that's a little bit more complicated. Diana is sympathetic to Harley's plight. She sees Harley more as a victim. Nice. And since Diana, I'm sorry, what?
Oh, nice. I like it. Keep going.
Okay. And since Diana really kind of feels out of place around the holidays because her culture, the Amazonian culture never really celebrated Christmas. And the few times she did celebrate Christmas was with Steve Trevor, which obviously leaves a bad connotation with her. She decides instead of kind of moping around lonely on the holidays, she's kind of try to reform Harley. All right. Let's see. So back at the briefing in a secret lab set up by Bruce and overseen by Gordon, we discover that Harley is off the deep end because she was promised so many more adventures with the Joker. All right, this is where it kind of gets a little bit meta. Like, basically, Harley's like, we were supposed to do so many things together. We were supposed to have so many stories together, Mr. J and I. Let's see. And then the Joker was essentially, she thinks that the Joker ditched him. Let's see. Gordon. I'm sorry. I'm kind of backtracking here. Gordon Gordon enlists Diana to oversee Harley. Let's see. Okay, so basically everyone's going off. This is kind of the end of Act 1, Dragon. Everyone's going off for the holidays in different places. Clark has invited Bruce to stay with him at the Kent farm. Aquaman is doing a solo backpacking trip across Europe. Flash and Cyborg are hanging out as roommates. Wonder Woman continues to be a loner of the group, but she's got Harley as, kind of like someone who kind of Harley is sort of her ray of hope in a weird way. You know what I mean? And let's see. And then the act ends with the Justice League clearing out and going their respective ways. Well, Gordon is left alone. So basically like a very, very somber bad exit.
Wait, why is it somber?
Well, just because Gordon is, like everyone else is going away on the holidays and Gordon is basically Dragon. It kind of like hints at the fact that like things aren't really all that happy at the Gordon household around the holidays without getting into too many details about why.
Are we going to explore that though?
Not really. Basically, that was just kind of, that's the last we see of Gordon in this special, so.
Oh.
It was just kind of a way for me to, give him some depth. I don't know.
Sure.
Okay. Dragon, you're Act 1.
Well, I can't really beat that, folks. I'll just preface it with that because that was amazing. I can't. I mean, I can definitely beat his Gordon stuff, but I can't beat anything else there.
Yeah, I'm sure you can beat my Gordon stuff, and I knew the Gordon stuff would be the stuff you were the most skeptical about. So,
well, basically, folks, I kind of went my usual approach
but
with this.
you like that I at least kind of like went a new direction with Gordon, with kind of being the Nick Fury of the Justice League, right?
I mean, I get where
Like
it's
that's a new
coming from.
twist on it.
Yeah, but I think just Gordon reaching the stars. I think that's. I don't know. I think him reaching the Lantern. I don't know. It's mainly because we haven't gotten Green. I need to see what the DCU's take on Green Lanterns before I could buy something like that. You know?
Okay, okay.
Not on you. It's just on where we stand.
I did have good casting for the Lanterns, though.
Yes, you did. And again, like casting, I would love to see. I don't think would ever happen, but I'd love to see.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Again, okay, so let's see. Getting into mind. So again, folks, I kind of took my usual approach here, where I kind of tried to kind of logically beat where a continuation of the DCEU movie, but also let's just say I tried to retroactively fix some things here. So this is my best of kind of playing it straight, just kind of seeing how we could have a lot of great references, kind of do all the stuff we want to do, but also kind of fix some of the stuff we've had major problems with.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see how it goes. So this is setting-wise, real briefly, this is months past Justice League. So it's within the same year as Justice League, but now it's Christmas time. With a lot of aftermath. Again, it's an attempt to fix the DCU here and also hint at the future. I definitely wanted to hint at the future of the DCU because I got some ideas where I think they could go, even where things stand right now. So, okay, Act 1. We see snowfall. We see crystals, and we see crystals at the snowfalls. It's a really nice shot here, and it very much resembles the Fortress of Solitude. And we hear the Superman music play, da, 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 and we reveal that it's snowing, and we're outside in Smallville, but it's like we reveal it's a close up of icicles with snow falling behind it, but it's snow covered Smallville.
Nice.
But we reveal Clark Kent. Clark Kent is going around and in the snow covered Smallville, and I'll say this, folks. So again, it's not gift wrapped. Let's say my pitch isn't gift wrapped. So basically, elements like the music, I'm not attached to with the music. So basically, the music is a little interchangeable. Let's just say something like Deck the Halls is playing during this scene.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, the point is, we have Clark. Clark is kind of representative of Santa Claus in this special here. So Clark, he's just really happy. I love happy.
Oh, Dragon, I've got a really unconventional Santa Claus in my special. I think you're gonna like.
I have you'll see where I'm going with it. But anyway, so Clark, he's cutting down the tree with his heat vision. This is the idea is that Clark Kent who's not living with the stuff we saw in Man of Steel, where he's like, he's afraid to use his powers. Where he's like, he'll use his powers, but slyly. He'll be like clever. He'll be kind of like the almost like the George Reeves kind of Superman. That he'll use his powers and like, oh, then that Clark Kent, he can do some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So he's using his heat vision to cut down trees. He kind of with one hand he can bring it in the house and he can decorate it with ease. He can kind of fly, put the star on the top while he's inside the house. He lights the fire with his heat vision. He's wrapping gifts at super speed. We see like some old Smallville decorations. Kind of again the history of the house. Maybe like a little cameo Jonathan Kent, like a photo on the mantelpiece. It's a little thing there. He's also decorating the tree with Martha. Good old Ma Kent, and she remarks, "Oh, Clark, it's so nice to have this little idea of yours to have a little Christmas party with you and your super friends. It's so nice,
Mm-hmm.
So she's asking, well, I hope you sent invitations out. Even though you and your super speed, everyone might have plans. Like, oh, don't worry, Ma. I have just the man to deliver the invites." And basically, we cut to the Flash. The Flash to most likely Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer playing.
Oh God!
As Flash, of course, is running. He's doing that cool like little runner thing, or his kind of legs are kind of doing the skiing thing.
Uh-huh.
Like he's running, but to kind of spice things up a little bit. Flash, and that my biggest challenge with this was not duplicating the awesome Christmas stuff we've had with the Flash from the TV show. Because me, one of my favorite episodes of the Flash, short of the Trickster episode, is the Christmas episode of Reverse Flash. You got a lot of good ones like that.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
I definitely tried not to do like all the Flash TV show tropes. So The Flash, he's running on water, though, which is something we rarely have seen him do, but especially can see him do, kind of on the big screen here and with kind of a different approach to it. So the Flash, he's running, he's delivering, and I made Flash is delivering very much like Mercury or Hermes, which, of course, is where kind of the wings on his helmet are based off. So he's very much living up to his messenger thing, which you kind of alluded to in yours as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, he's running across water, and we're building up to kind of this epic Aquaman sequence here. Oh, man, this is such a cool I'm very proud of the Aquaman. It just kind of hit me. I was like, oh, my God, it's so cool.
I'm proud of my Aquaman stuff as well.
Just pitching my Aquaman, this introduction to Aquaman kind of made me psyched to see the movie, to be honest with you. I was like, oh, man, I can't wait to see this Aquaman movie. No, it's not based on anything I've done right now. So the point is... let's see. And overall, with these sequences, there's some different time zones and kind of climates, so you kind of change the weather and stuff here and there. So it's just kind of a little excuse there. Yeah, points we get to explore the world with Flash. So there's a bad hailstorm going on the sea. It's like it's rip like waves that would rip a ship in half. That type of stuff. It's real. It's like kind of like Deadliest Catch type weather. It's like bad hailstorms. Like this is like a horrible setting for weather. We have this lone fisherman, like a man who's foolishly doing he's a lone fisherman in like a little humble boat. Like big enough that you can go like below deck, but it's not like a rowboat, but it's a boat. Mm-hmm. And there's like a rescue ship that is basically like a Coast Guard or something like coming up to him with like maybe a few guys on the ship trying to rescue this guy because he's in the weather and he needs to get out of there, and they're trying to save him anyway. So Flash, meanwhile, he's running towards this, and the rescue ship, they can't get to him, and a few men are kind of falling overboard. And as they're falling overboard, a couple things happen here. Basically, we see while this is going on, while this chaos is going on, a few guys are about to fall overboard. This one desperate fisherman who is important, he's trying to stay alive on a sinking ship. Like pieces of a ship are coming out, so it's taking on water. It's like minutes away from capsizing, and it's like getting lower and lower in the freezing hypothermic water. And he's trying really hard to hold on to his fish. He's holding on to his catch, and there's like he's like kind of put himself in unnecessary danger, kind of trying to cling on to his thing. Mm-hmm. So as that's all going on there, Aquaman makes a great entrance. He basically like lightning strikes in the background, and Aquaman he like scales the side of the rescue ship as a guy falls overboard. Like he doesn't even reach the water because he grabs the guy by his jacket and he flings him on board. And so that's going on, and of course another guy's about to fall, and before he hits the water, the Flash, he shows up and he like grabs the guy, and the guy like, oh my God, I fell on the deck of the ship. I was about to fall in the water. What happened? And of course, Aquaman's just literally, wait, what? What are you doing here? Merry? And Flash says, Merry Christmas, buddy! So we have this awesome thing. Again, the fisherman now, his boat is completely gone down, and now he's like, his side is hitting, the guy's now in the water. It's like the ending of Jaws. It's like he's Brody in Jaws right now in terms of like where the ship is sinking. And now his limbs are starting to enter the water, and like his body is like going numb from hypothermia. So like now he'll drown essentially. So Aquaman does this awesome dive bomb rescue, kind of like what we saw in Dawn of Justice here, where he just kind of he kind of torpedoes out of the water, and he basically grabs the guy and kind of launches him onto safety, onto dry land.
Right.
So that's really cool. And basically, so he has saved the guy, and basically, as like they're kind of having that moment just to take it all, I'm like, oh my God, I was death defying. Flash kind of shows up with that Ezra Miller kind of timing of just like, he's so earnest, he's so happy to be there. He doesn't quite have kind of the majesty of it nailed yet. Flash just kind of randomly shows up as like they kind of like Aquaman turns behind him and just flashes there and just kind of almost like waving hi, and he gives him the envelope. Says, "See you at the Christmas party." And Aquaman just kind of rolls us, "Ho freaking ho." Meanwhile, Wonder Woman. Oh boy, Wonder Woman. We have just
okay. I will say Wonder Woman was the character that I struggled with the most in my special. So I hope you've got some good stuff for Wonder Woman.
I had cool stuff for Wonder Woman. There's one scene I'm a little worried about, but all of her stuff solo is fantastic. I'm very proud of Wonder Woman.
Okay.
So for example, here we start Wonder Woman. We're at the climax of a Wonder Woman adventure because that was something I really liked from the Justice League movie. When we do that, it's honestly. Because also you have to do this because why not? Just we're at the climax of the Wonder Woman adventure. The music's playing. So basically, the climax is her taking down this human trafficking ring. It's like, these guys, like, they're trafficking, like, these teenage girls, kind of force them into all sorts of unseemly things. And I do a method to my madness with that, with the human trafficking. It does vague. That's a meta payoff, which we'll get to.
Gotcha.
The point is, she's saving these trafficked girls, and she's not having anything with these guys. Like, she's breaking their guns, she's throwing them against her, like she's tipping over like a shipping container that's now empty after the girls are running out of there. Flash shows up, he kind of takes down a few loose ends, like a few guys are like about to get their bearings and kind of like go at her again, like and Wonder Woman. Basically, my mantra for Wonder Woman during this is just 3 words: a name and then 2 side words. It's the Wonder Woman is cool. That was just kind of my baseline for Wonder Woman. Yes, Wonder Woman is cool throughout all of this. She's she's really nice and basically like a little bonding, little thank you moment of like, oh thanks. She's really happy to see Barry. It's like, oh man, isn't that pleasant?
Yeah.
He hands her the Christmas card, like, oh, Christmas party, I'll see you there. She's really happy. That's like, so Wonder Woman again. She is kind of the celebrity out of all of them. She's just kind of the coolest of all of them at the moment. So then so we've hit Aquaman, we've hit Wonder Woman, so now he's going to Wayne Manor. So Wayne Manor, if you remember, is being retrofitted into the Hall of Justice. And right now we're at with it. Basically, it's everything but the bells and whistles are there at this point. So basically, we'd have no logos or chairs yet. We don't have like all the logos, like the JL logo. I don't even know if they've called themselves Justice League at this point. The point is they're just they're getting a headquarters straight away, and Cyborg has been pulling all nighters. Like, Cyborg's been basically bunking at Wayne Manor this whole time, setting up the computer systems, the mainframe, and just kind of hanging out with Alfred. So basically, Cyborg and Alfred have a really moving arc in this.
Okay.
And I struggle a lot with Cyborg, so bear with me, folks.
I really don't have much with Cyborg at all outside of like a funny gag.
I had to infuse him with Alfred to make him, put some.
I like that. I like that pairing. That's better than what I did with him.
So anyway, Flash arrives. He delivers a card to Cyborg, and I wanted to do more with you, where it sounds like you're about Cyborg and Flash, because I was going to pair them together, but then I realized I can't really go anywhere with Cyborg with Barry's story in this. So, because Barry's our main character in this. Essentially, but again, it's kind of Barry's. It's Barry and Batman's story, really. But it's anyway. So he delivers a card, and he's asking Alfred, "Hey, Alfred, how's it going? Where's Bruce?" And Alfred informs him, Master Wayne, he's working on a case right now. And Alfred, forewarns Barry, because he's kind of taking a liking to this kid, this earnest kid. Kind of reminds him of the days of a Robin. That's kind of an undercurrent going on here.
Sure.
Where Alfred kind of he takes a liking to the boy, and he kind of clips his wings here, saying, Master Allen, Mr. Allen, listen, I should warn you, Master Bruce, he's not really festive around this time of year. A lot of bad memories. He's not really social around the holiday. I mean, the gestures appreciated, but I highly doubt he's going to accept. I will relay the message, though. No, thanks, Alfred. Yeah, thanks anyway. So, he's just kind of pounding around Cyborg for a second there, just kind of airing out, like, kind of making some chit-chat. The idea of these guys are real kind of buddy friends. I didn't really get to explore that a lot, but this scene is kind of the most I got out of that, where Cyborg is like... basically, Flash asking, "Hey, Cyborg, hey, Cy," call him Cy too. A lot of people nickname Cyborg Cy. I figured, like call him Vic or Cy. I don't know.
I like that.
Like, hey, Cy, how's it going? What are your holiday plans? Mainly, I'm going to be here. What about you? I'm going to be shopping at Super Speeds. It kind of makes it really kind of the idea. He'll shop. Chris.
I'm the other guy in the red suit.
Exactly. He does all his shopping at the last minute because he can actually get away with it with all the holiday. Hoopla going on there, because you can just, everyone's going to move in slow motion. You get the last item, so it's that was kind of a cute little gag.
I like that. Yeah.
So what's happening? So he's asking. That's what Flash doing is. What about you? Vic? You gonna do some Christmas shopping? I don't really get out. And Cyborg is contending with a lot of, I'm more machine than man here. I tried not to retread it, but I did kind of hit the practicalities of that. That Cyborg can't really do his Christmas shopping because he's going to be walking around as kind of a half-robot guy, and it's going to weep people out. And he's self-conscious of it. You would be. I mean, wouldn't you be self-conscious you were half-robot?
Well, yeah, I would think so, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So basically, Cyborg has like this cute line here where he says, I do my shopping on Amazon, Barry, and I don't really need to go anywhere. It all comes to me. Because, again, he's tuned in with the internet so well. Of course, he would just do all shopping online.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I've got some stuff with online shopping in Cyborg as well.
Sure. So he reveals... we get some background Cyborg here. I did pull a lot of this because, I mean, the DCEU take on Cyborg is very much based on the New 52, so I did some research here. I kind of pulled a little... All my Cyborg stuff is kind of some background from that comic where Cyborg is sensitive about the man versus machine thing, and we saw a little bit of it in the movie. There is a strained relationship between him and his father. His father's kind of viewing him more as a science experiment. In this
Right.
case, the background in the comics that I can only assume maybe factors into the movie is that um, you know he and his father had a very distant relationship because Cyborg was a football player and his father was all obsessed with his work in science. He never really gave his son time. Never gave his son the athlete time of day. Like he's the kind of guy he'll sign the checks for the scholarships and whatnot, but he won't really be there to watch him at the game. That's kind of the relationship they've had. And the idea here is that Cyborg, even after what's happened to him, even after they have their relationship has improved a little bit since Justice League, but now he just feels like his father still, it's still distant. Now he's become work for his father. Just it feels like kind of a it's kind of feels like an unwanted burden slash experiment in a way.
Hmm.
It just feels like back to the football square one, but now I'm a priority. I'm not a son. And of course he's airing this out to Barry Allen, who of course has definitely has some father issues with his father in prison, and it's kind of where the scene kind of goes to. Where again, it doesn't get heated, doesn't get anger here, but Flash kind of gives him some wise parting advice here, where he says, "Well, Victor. Oh, well, I'm sorry. One other thing I should hit on
Yeah,
too
sure, sure.
with Cyborg here, because this is important. This is the big pull I got from the comic, is that um, in an Aquaman story in the New 52, Cyborg, he was going to have to go underground. His father, and this is like a big bone of contention for him. He would have to replace his one. He has like one human lung left, and like the part of his body
Oh
that's left,
wow.
so he'd have to
Okay.
replace it with a mechanical one. And again, it's like Victor like trying to savor every bit he has here. So I kind of took inspiration from that here. So the idea is again with the man machine thing. Like Victor's big fear is that soon Victor Stone, because again we saw that suit upgrades by itself. Victor's really paranoid about the fact that soon Victor Stone might be completely gone. I mean, I have like that one human. He brings up the one human lung thing. He just brings up that fear of like I'm down to a lung and basically the upper part of my torso. I don't have limbs. I don't have everything. I mean, once this is gone, I mean, I don't know if I'm going to be left. So I just want to. Then again, that's just kind of some paranoia that's kind of flowing through there and just putting additional strain on the whole relationship with the father. So Flash's parting advice is, well, Victor, at the end of the day, it could be worse. I mean, your father could be right there for you all the time, but it could be behind glass.
Hmm.
Yeah, and especially around the holiday season, which would definitely be really tough to see. So again, that's a little foreshadow for Flash's story there. So it gives kind of some parting words for Victor there. Alfred's hearing all this. Alfred's kind of keeping an eye on this. So we go to the next scene. So let's see. Oh yeah. So we continue with Flash. We get a sense. Again, this basically shows you that Flash is kind of our main guy in this story, even though he doesn't
Okay.
have a whole lot of scenes. So it's a day in the life of Barry Allen, and again, this is basically me trying to delineate from the show, make it different. Kind of, I
Okay.
figured
Cool. Cool.
instead of the mother focus like we have on the Flash TV show, we have more focus on the father here, more focus on the Billy Crudup Henry Allen.
Hmm.
So today in the life of Barry Allen, he goes to his mundane job where he's just starting out. It's been a month or so on the job. Where if you're a speedster and time works fast, especially for you, you can see all the other things you could be doing, but you have to wait through meetings. You got to do other things. You got to wait for DNA to process at a very slow rate. Realistically, it takes time for DNA and all the forensic stuff to process
Right.
and all the paperwork you got to do. So I figure a take on the speedster they could kind of do in the DCU would be like, he has ADHD. He's going to be he's going to have all sorts of other.
I like that.
He's going to be bored out of his mind. He's going to be easily distracted. That
So
sort
he's
of
gonna be
stuff.
like, like playing like three different games on the computer at the same time.
Yeah, something like that. He's going to be trying to distract him, trying to keep as much entertainment in his boring days. The
Right.
job isn't
Okay. I like
as
that. I like that, Dragon. Well done.
so the job isn't as exciting as he thought it was going to be. Like, hey, I'm gonna be solving crimes. Yeah,
Right.
I'm an amateur Batman. Yeah, it's not that at all. And we see he's eager to leave to do his Christmas shopping because he looks forward to those sort of things. So he's doing his Christmas shopping. We have using his super speed amidst the holiday rush. Like he's literally climbing over people who don't recognize it. He's buying books, and the books are going to be important. He's buying books and a few gifts for the Justice League. I don't have all the gifts figured out, but a few of them I'd highlight there. Like he's definitely getting Rick and Morty for Cyborg.
Oh God. Oh man.
He's getting Rick and Morty for Cyborg because we do know he watches Rick and Morty.
Uh-huh.
I pull that randomly, folks. It's a fact. You can look it up. Um, he's getting like a scarf, a sweater, presumably for Wonder Woman. One of the two. I don't know. He's getting like a singing bass for Aquaman as a gag gift. But importantly, he's buying some books. Now, these books are sci-fi books. They are A Brave New World, The Time Machine, and Ready Player One.
Oh, okay. I'm intrigued.
And all of those are important pulls. Okay, less Ready Player One. That one's just more for fun. But yeah, the other ones are definitely important because they kind of foreshadow the direction of the DCEU. They're little foreshadows where I think they're going to be going.
Well, I could see where the time machine's going. Okay.
I was saying Brave New World as well, especially with
Oh,
Batman v Superman, just kind of the dictator, kind of Superman type.
right.
Anyway, one of those books are he got like at least three sci-fi books, if not more. He's very excited to visit his father in prison. So he's very excited to give him the idea. He's going to give those books to his father because it's like one of the only gifts short of like commissary you can give someone in prison.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's very limited what you can give someone in prison that could actually make it to them. So he's excited to greet his father, give him some books, but initially, basically, he's going to have the worst day ever here. So he goes to the prison. The books are instantly confiscated because some Joker, not the actual Joker, I'm saying some wise guy, like he snuck stuff in the books, and now all the books are confiscated. And they're being held over, so no one could read them until after the holiday. He goes to visit his father, and his father has been in a fight. He's been in a scuffle. Like he didn't instigate the fight, but his poor father just got beat up and just randomly. And he's battered and bruised, but he's putting on a smiling face. And it's like your heart goes out to Billy Crudup, and
Hmm.
especially to Ezra Miller in this scene where he's putting on Barry's putting on a hopeful face because he doesn't want to show that he's heartbroken and how he's seeing his father right now. The fact that again his father is like a museum exhibit almost. Like he can see him behind glass. That's the only time he can have connection with his father. He can't, and he's the Flash. And at this point, I assume his father does not know he's the Flash, so he could get him out of there any time, but he knows it's not right. It's not justice,
Hmm.
you know. So basically his father's so eager, even despite being all broken and battered and stuff. He's like, "So son, tell me, how's the new job going? I'm dying to know. Tell me, how's the job going?" He basically he swallows his pride and he says, "Oh, Dad, it's really cool. You wouldn't believe how fun it is. And I mean, I'm getting you meet some people. I got some really cool case files going on. Like you wouldn't, oh man, you wouldn't believe it. It's nothing like the TV shows at all." But again, like your heart goes out for him. Basically, we have the sad walk home, and it's sad.
I bet
So
it is.
yes. So let's see. So also as this scene is kind of transitioning to our bases, this is kind of our big scene followed by a little bit of aftermath here, what's kind of taking us out here for Act One, getting very close to the end here. So
Okay.
we have let's just say the song that's about to play is Santa Claus is Coming to Town. So it's like to emphasize the sad walk home. A happy song is beginnings. You better watch out. You better not cry.
Uh-huh.
So we cut from that. This is the sad. I have like pairings of sadness and happiness all throughout this. Like two sad scenes, two happy scenes. So you have a family cowering in a very decorated, really loving living room in Gotham. We're in Gotham City, and again, I built the Batman here. This is important. We built to him. So again,
Yeah,
Batman's like
yeah.
he's out on a mission. So now we're seeing what the mission is. So we see a family cowering in the decorated living room. It's very much essentially it looks like the scene. I pull a lot of Lethal Weapon. It looks like that when the car crashes through the living room in Lethal Weapon. It looks exactly like that room.
Uh-huh.
So you have a one man dressed like Santa Claus and 3 to 4 gunmen with Santa hats on. And basically, this man he is gloating like a zealot about how it's this family's destiny to die on this day. Like, oh, you don't realize how lucky you are, how the stars are aligning, how this day's been built upon. You're all going to die this holiday season. Imagine how prestigious an honor that is. So again, and of course, this man is Calendar Man.
Oh boy. Okay.
I did vent a little bit of my Arkham Origins frustrations in this because I figured I'd go for like kind of a more of a deep cut Batman villain. Of course, some people who have read The Long Halloween, of course, don't know who Calendar Man is, and I kind of pulled like a new iteration on Calendar Man, you know.
Sure, sure. I agree.
And in terms of casting, I have thrilled to throw out there. One of them I could pull for a role I'm going to introduce at the very end of this. Let's say Woody Harrelson would be like an ideal pick.
Mhm.
Woody Harrelson, if not an unconventional choice, Jason Alexander,
Okay.
George, and if not that, Patton Oswalt.
I like all three of those guys. I will say Woody Harrelson probably would be the best.
Basically, Woody Harrelson. I have some. We'll see. I basically have him possible for another role. Let's just say Woody Harrelson for argument's sake. Just Woody Harrelson.
Okay.
Regardless. So you again as Christmas music is playing as like the Christmas special, it's a Christmas special or commercial that is playing the song that's going on through the scene. Santa Claus is coming to town. He was checking his list twice. He knows if you've been naughty or nice, and of course, it basically sounds Batman is being portrayed as a Santa Claus within the scene, while there was a Santa Claus actually threatening the family. That's the gag there. It's like it's building up Batman as a Santa Claus type in Gotham.
Mm-hmm.
So, as this really tense scene's going on, the idea of Calendar Man, like for reasons I'll explain towards the end of the scene because it's in the thing. Again, Calendar Man is just he's targeting this family to kill on Christmas on for the holiday season, I should say. And Batman, you hear rattling as like Santa Claus is like we're getting like a crescendo of the song, I guess. Santa Claus is coming to town. As that's happening, there's a rumbling in the chimney, and basically Batman comes down the chimney like Santa Claus.
Oh God!
He comes down like Santa Claus, but it's the most intimidating Santa Claus ever. Because as he comes down, there's a big plume of soot and dark like black, almost like a smoke bomb, but it's all soot. Of soot and brick dust and everything. Just as Batman, just like he exploded down the chimney essentially. And as that's playing, it comes down the chimney, and before the gunman can shoot anyone, like you see like the white of Affleck's eyes in the plume of smoke just glaring at these guys through as he gets really close and close to these gunmen, like pointing their guns about to shoot, and he's like pulls them into the soot, and he like destroys he destroys the guns, like he's whacking the guys and the guns, like you don't even see what he does with these guys, and he's taking them out really brutally, and that's him potential. He's taking out really brutally. And then he's not killing him though. I want to make that clear. He's not killing him, but he is really brutal though.
Mm-hmm.
So he's brutal, and then of course after he breaks the guns, he takes out the gunman. Of course, Calendar, and he pulls the gun. He's about to off the family, and then of course Batman he appears, and the idea of this is all very traumatizing to a family, especially small children, seeing what's about to unfold here. Basically, Batman brutally beats up a Santa Claus in front of children who wielded a gun at them, was going all religiously about how he was about to kill them, and he destroys the Christmas tree. Like, he knocks him into the Christmas tree. Christmas tree goes through the window, and honestly goes out the window as the fight goes on. Like Batman's breaking bulbs on his head, and he grabs a Christmas present. He basically he smacks him in the face with a Christmas present that most likely breaks. The idea is a very traumatic scene, and Batman is just he's not taking pleasure in this, but he's just he's really taking out his anger the fact that Calendar Man has threatened the family on Christmas, which of course brings up some bad memories Batman has about families.
Oh.
So, and of course, as all that happy-go-lucky music is playing throughout the sequence, and this Batman is basically this scene signifies Batman has Christmas issues. Then we have our scene of aftermath, and that's where it's going to wrap up here. It's basically a Jim Gordon scene.
Okay.
This is my only Gordon scene in here. So, Jim Gordon's on the scene in the aftermath of he's wearing a Christmas tie, by the way. Gift from Barbara. It's nice. We see. Basically, we get some cool Calendar Man exposition. Basically, it's kind of typical Batman Gordon thing where Gordon's kind of weighing like Batman's it's like an elementary My Dear Watson type scene, where he basically says Calendar Man, the family in question, they got their Christmas card, they got their family Christmas card done, like a picture of them and all on the Christmas cards, like a personalized card done by like a private store, like a private like little shop you go into specifically for Christmas cards. And the idea is Calendar Man he kind of wandered in there because he has a fascination with Christmas cards and holidays and everything. He just walked in.
Like 1 hour photo in a way. I'm liking it.
I mixed a couple. There's a lot. Basically, it's a 1 hour photo and Red Dragon. There's a lot of Red Dragon.
Okay,
so
nice.
It's kind of a mixture of that. So basically, he just walked in there and just kind of noticed these. He kind of is less that he became fascinated with the family, but he saw the photo, and this one specific Christmas card place, and he noticed that he saw a small typo. Because Gordon's initially thinking, okay, yeah, so he's nuts. He's targeting the family. What made him target the family? And of course, J.K. Simmons is Jim Gordon too, which is also cool. Batman says, "Well, why on earth would he do this?" He saw a typo. Just like one little mistake in the card sparked him to kill. On this one Christmas card, he scrutinized the card. He's so obsessed with holidays and getting them perfect, and just on Christmas cards in this case, he saw one mistake, like one spelling error on the card, and that made him want to. And this is where Batman's getting a lot of his brutality from in the scene, because Calendar Man, over a typo, there was a previous victim, the man who ran like the card store, the man who ran the manufacturing place. He tortured he tortured the manufacturer and put him through a industrial shredder.
Ooh, God.
And just again, this is kind of mentioned in dialogue, just to kind of show again that's why Batman's really taken out on this guy, just over a stupid typo. He did that to that guy. And you can't even imagine what he was going to do to that family before he was just going to shoot him down.
Mm-hmm.
So Calendar Man, then Gordon's just like, oh man, there's a guy destined for Arkham Fest. I mean, just target a family like that. And Batman also kind of infers that another reason they probably targeted the family of all people is that he was separated from his son in a divorce, which is pulling from some new 52 stuff with Calendar Man, that he is his son was he was separated from his son, so that's why he has like even more kind of family issues. And the main point of bringing that up is that Gordon says, oh, he's alone around the holidays. Jim kind of picks up on that. Oh, I wonder how that must feel like, as he's kind of intimating Batman, like, oh boy, yeah, you got that guy's number, don't you, Batman? Not in so many words. And basically, as Gordon is making that connection, making that point, of course, tying the whole thing, the Batman, he's feeling lonely around the holidays here. As Gordon turns around, Batman has pulled a bad exit and he's gone. That's the end of Act 1.
All right. Okay, so Dragon, I don't have as much meta-narrative in my Act 2. I have a lot of meta-narrative in my Act 3, so we'll get into that.
Right.
So basically, the meta-narrative in my Act 2 is it's basically a week into shooting. We see Ben Affleck has become rather protective over Margot Robbie because Margot Robbie is still devastated that she might not get to, make the Harley Quinn movies that they promised her. And let's see. So Affleck kind of, he tucks, like Dragon, basically Affleck convinces Kevin Smith to let Margot Robbie stay in the guest bedroom of the Smith household while Affleck stays in the Batcave. And Kevin Smith's like, sure, man, why not? How are you, Margot? Like Jen Smith and Margot Robbie kind of hit it off,
I got a daughter named Harley Quinn too.
Right, exactly. That's where I kind of thought up that, yeah. Maybe Harley could stop by for a visit and meet Margot Robbie.
Or I'm gonna give more meta with you here. I'm just gonna Kevin Smith saying, "Hey Margot, listen, I got a whole podcast where I explain when I gave my daughter a bat that looks exactly like the bat that you used. Let me show you. Then you listen to me talk about that bat."
Oh God.
Instead of actually showing her the bat, it was kind of an additional level. I'm going to keep going.
Right.
I'm being silly. Keep going.
Okay. So let's see. So Gal Gadot is having a Scrooge-like moment of her own. She is isolated from the rest of the actors because really hers has been the only critically successful movie. So her and Momoa go out and have drinks. Momoa is, he's kind of hoping and praying that the Aquaman movie is a success. He's like, God damn it, that Aquaman movie, like James Wan, he did wonders for the Fast and the Furious franchise. Let's hope he can save this.
If I could just point out for a moment, Tiki, we actually have a legitimate chance. I just want to make that clear. We actually have a legitimate shot at Vera Farmiga having a cameo in Aquaman.
Are you serious?
I'm just saying it makes with the other. I'm just saying Patrick Wilson, Vera Farmiga.
With James Wan. Yeah, you're right. They
work together a lot, and even in movies just without James Wan, they have a tendency to work together. So I'm saying we got a shot at Farmiga cameo. Maybe it's Aquaman's mom. I don't know. I'd love that.
Oh God, that'd be wonderful.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, so let's see. Henry Cavill. Oh God, heartbreaking scene with Henry Cavill. Okay, you ready? He's talking with Diane Keaton.
Yeah.
Wait, it's Diane Keaton who's playing Martha Kent, right?
It's Diane Lane, Tiki. Diane
Lane. Okay, damn it. Sorry, I always get the two Dianes mixed up.
Diane Keaton's the Godfather one, Tiki.
Okay, I'm sorry. So Cavill's talking to Diane Lane, and of course Diane Lane is, she's a veteran actress. She's been around the block, she's, she knows a thing or two about surviving a career and, surviving a flop. And Cavill, he just lets his guard down to Lane and, he's devastated, like, oh my God, if the DCEU takes and, my whole life I've just wanted to play Superman and now I feel I finally feel like the studio is giving me a chance to kind of like, you know, flex my actual muscles with that. But if this is all how it goes down, you know, and he basically curses the mustache. He's like, this is all going to be over this damn mustache. I'm going to just like, that mustache is going to haunt me for the rest of my life. And Diane Lane is just, you know, she's being very comforting. She's just like, dear there, life is way more complicated than just a mustache. All right, and meanwhile, Ray Fisher and Ezra Miller are visiting an arcade where they're drawn into an old corner of it where all the classic games are, you know, like Pac-Man, Galaga, Centipede, Asteroids. And that's the only thing that they're focused on, and we get kind of this visual symbol that they might be just a bunch of classics relegated to a corner of the market, perhaps, which might be the fate of the actual Justice League themselves. Symbolism! I digress. Okay, so... Shoot, sorry, Dragon. Okay, that was the last thing of the meta narrative of Act 2. Like I said, there's a lot more meta in Act 3, but let's get into the actual special itself. So, all right, Dragon, here's where the Aquaman stuff starts to really come into focus. I mentioned that Aquaman was going off on a solo backpacking trip through Europe, right?
Yeah.
Well, along that solo backpacking trip, he comes upon a man with a beard that looks suspiciously like the beard that Mark Hamill Joker had. Now, Aquaman, he's not taking any chances. He pulls out his trident and he just stabs this guy right in the heart. But it turns out that this guy is not the Joker at all. It's Saint Nicholas.
So Aquaman stabbed Santa.
Yes.
Did he kill Santa?
Yes.
Why did he kill Santa?
Because he thought that Santa was the Joker.
Well, still, I mean, it's just kind of just Aquaman murdering people, though.
He thought that Santa was the Joker, Dragon. You have to go with this.
All right.
Okay. It was an accident, Dragon. It was an accident.
Yeah, no, it's like, hey, I actually didn't kill the Joker, but I've killed Santa Claus. It's like, hey, maybe I just don't murder people.
Well, he didn't just kill Santa Claus. He killed Bryan Cranston's Santa Claus.
No! No! No!
All right, but I like the rules that I laid out with this Santa, though.
You've killed Cranston Claus.
So basically, Saint Nicholas and Krampus are basically kind of like dueling brothers, right? They're kind of like these mythological creatures. Krampus is obviously kind of like more the demon, while Saint Nicholas appears as like a saintly older man. You know, kind of like a mix between modern Santa and like Gandalf.
Right.
And so with the death of St. Nicholas, that has brought his brother Krampus back. And it is up to, Aquaman to deliver all the presents. And this is where things start to get a little off the rails.
So, well, is Cranston playing Krampus as well?
Yes.
Ah.
So that's where,
I guess that's a little better.
So it's like a dual role.
All right. Well, okay. We got some Cranston, some Cranston. Oh, some I was trying to make a pun. It's Krampus is Cranston. All right.
Some Cronston.
That's what they was trying to like meld it together.
I think that works. Cronston.
I don't know. It's just that's making it sound like this sounds like a fancy way of saying Cranston. Just doesn't sound like give Krampus meets Cranston. Oh wait, I got it. Bryan Krampus.
What about Crampston?
I like that better. Crampston. Yeah, Crampston.
Oh boy. So needless to say, Krampus is going to be the main villain of this special.
Okay.
Which Krampus is a mythological work that is protected under public domain, so I think they can probably get away with that legally.
He's the satanic Santa Claus.
You like me directly connecting to St. Nicholas, though?
Do you mean like the Krampus Santa Claus connection? You just mean putting
Yeah,
Santa
yeah,
Claus?
like, because St. Nicholas is not Santa Claus. Like, the thing is, I tie Krampus and St. Nicholas together into the DCEU's own mythology of Santa.
I don't know. I mean, I'll give it a pass, but not so.
Basically, it kind of ties into Aquaman's more, kind of like Greek god roots.
All right.
Okay. I'm sorry, trying to find my place.
Aquaman saves Christmas.
Yes, yes. Okay, so basically, he also warns to get the presents back in time. It also warns that Krampus is coming, and he is going to take his place as the malevolent holiday spirit. Okay. Back on the Kent farm, which looks very nice and spruced up since Bruce Wayne bought it out.
Yeah.
But, oh God, here we go, Dragon. Here we go. Bruce Wayne is pulling the ultimate Scrooge moment on poor old Martha Kent.
No, not Martha.
So, Dragon, he's basically pulling a Scrooge, and, he's basically threatening to foreclose on Martha if she can't pay off the repairs that Bruce has made.
Okay, come on, T. Come on. Really?
Yeah.
I don't buy that one iota, man. Come on.
All right, well, Clark assures him, he's like, Clark, like, Bruce, we'll take care of it. We'll take care of it. Bruce snaps out of it very quickly, though, Dragon. I want to just emphasize that. Bruce snaps out of it where he's like, oh, you know what, Clark, you're right. I'm sorry. And like you said, Dragon, very touchy time for Batman around the holidays.
Okay, you're not getting any brownie points for me on that one, all right? We'll just move past.
Okay.
Yeah, I get that. That is the most. That's a very like Bruce Wayne doesn't need Martha Kent's money. Come on. I don't know what you were thinking writing that one, but we'll just move on. Just keep going.
Okay, well, you want to talk about an awesome Aquaman intro? So we hear the sounds of Joy to the World playing.
Oh, goody.
And we see tearing down the middle of a Kansas farm is a giant tornado. But it's not just any tornado, Dragon, and it's not just any Sharknado, but it's a tornado of all the sea creatures, of all the ocean spirits, helping Aquaman get to Batman and Superman in time.
Oh boy!
And we see how this power works, where Aquaman will basically like use this as like a giant wave to ride around in, and then he'll send the wave back up into the clouds to kind of like get, to get like rained back into the ocean.
All right.
And that doesn't make a lick of sense, does it?
It's not really throwing me.
All right. Well, let's see how it goes. Well, it's Sharknado, but it's much cooler, Dragon.
That's cool. I'm just getting the reason for it, so it's going to lose me. I mean, it's a cool visual. I like it.
All right. So Aquaman basically informs Batman of the situation with St. Nicholas, and they decide to round up the League to help deliver the presents as Batman prepares for a strategic fight against the Krampus.
Okay.
Meanwhile, Flash and Cyborg are trying to upgrade Cyborg's tech into a newer model. This was basically a misguided Christmas present from Cyborg's father. Cyborg's character is basically a commentary on the constantly upgrading tech on, like iPhones and stuff like that, and how like sometimes at Christmas we'll get this upgraded tech, but it won't work right and it malfunctions, and sometimes things get sent to market with glitches in them, and that's basically Cyborg's character. I couldn't come up with much more than him outside of that, Dragon. I'm sorry. But it's a gag. I don't know.
Okay.
So Barry agrees to help save Christmas, upon learning of the news. And this, and he's stoked to team up with Soups and Aquaman to help deliver the presents. Meanwhile, Cyborg stays behind with Batman to help on the tactical defense against Krampus. Okay, so meanwhile, we see Wonder Woman. This is the end of Act 2, Dragon. Act 2 is the shortest of the 3 acts, and as you can tell, kind of the one I put the least effort into. So, We see Wonder Woman, and Wonder Woman's offered to take Harley in and try and reform her. But oh boy, Dragon, here we get a terrifying role. We get a Margot Robbie like Oscar moment right here. All right. So Harley Quinn basically uses the lasso of truth to manipulate Wonder Woman because she's that manipulative that she can override the lasso of truth.
Wow.
And you know how she does that?
How?
She does that through the Joker multiple choice tactic.
Oh, wow.
Where everything in her head that she's saying is a truth in her own mind.
So, wait, let me get this straight. So you're saying that Wonder Woman uses the lasso of truth in Harley Quinn, and basically she has a killing joke multiple choice thing indoctrinated in her from the Joker. So that's
yes. And I'm saying that this is like the most scary scene in the whole special. Because it's basically Harley Quinn learning everything she's known with the Joker and basically getting past the lasso of truth in a legit way because she's telling truths that she herself believes that the Joker has kind of embedded into her.
Huh.
And it overrides the lasso of truth, and it basically lets Diana, basically she spins a bunch of bullshit about how she's a reformed person and everything. And it basically gets Diana off her guard, because it's, she's saying this under the quote unquote influence of the lasso. So this is a really scary scene. We see that, we kind of see that Harley's taking advantage of it. We can just tell through Margot Robbie's performance. And it's just like, oh my God, she's broken the lasso. You know what I mean? It's a really intimidating moment, Dragon.
All right.
All right, and then we see in the bathroom Harley is pulling up a list of contacts, including Fly, Ivy, and Tabs.
Oh God!
And this group contact list on her phone is simply listed as Sirens. End of Act 2.
Wow.
All right.
All right. Okay, Act 2.
Yeah, that's right. I'm bringing my version of Tabitha Galvan into the DC extended universe.
That's surprising. I'm surprised you didn't have Catwoman on there. She's a siren.
You know what? Catwoman I felt was just too big of a character to just introduce in a Christmas special. Is that fair?
I guess sure. Yeah, you got a point. Yeah.
That's kind of why I went for the more obscure characters. Like, obviously, Ivy would be the big one, and then Firefly, I think, works. And then Tabitha, I think, would be a nice, kind of out-of-left-field pick.
Sure.
Okay.
All right, so here's what I got. So Act 2 for me. All right. Okay, so Superman, he's a Clark. Clark, he's calling. Again, Clark doesn't really. Honestly, Clark only suits up once in this entire special. So again, I want to make sure you care about the guys behind the suits before you care about in the suits. A lot of it's out of costume, honestly.
Yeah,
you get Flash, Superman, Batman. Everyone's in costume at least once. I'll give him that. So anyway, so Superman, he's calling Barry, he's asking about, to send the invites out, and he says, oh, yeah, sure. Yeah, but Batman's probably going to be a no-show. And this is important. Superman's a little disappointed in that. But he's like, oh, well, that's Bruce Ford. He's putting on a happy face. He's putting but, I'm looking forward to the party regardless. I'll see you there, right, Barry? Oh, yeah, sure, wouldn't miss it. All right. And he says, so after he hangs up there, a moment of pause goes by, and then he calls Diana, because it's almost like a moment of hey, I got an idea. I'm a little down about Batman, but I got another idea. So he's calling Diana for a really special scene. I can't wait to get to. Meanwhile, our fisherman, who, by the way, this is a deep cuts pool, and this is a very fun one. Our fisherman is played by a special guest actor. He is played by a fan favorite, John DiMaggio.
Oh, God. Okay, I like that.
For a very specific reason, because I was thinking of a deep cuts Aquaman reference, and one of the most memorable and kind of favorite amongst the fans version of Aquaman is the John DiMaggio Aquaman from Brave and the Bold. The one who says,
he is good, yeah.
The outrageous, that one. The real friendly. That's the real cool Aquaman. So basically, the idea said that John DiMaggio is a big guy. I could buy John DiMaggio as a fisherman. At times he's been a little bit more trim than others, but regardless, he's a big guy. His point is John DiMaggio.
Uh-huh.
So basically, he's this fisherman character. So I have three characters in this. There, so you have the fisherman. I have. I'm just trying to think. Basically I imply one towards the end. I had Calendar Man. So Calendar Man, the fisherman, and a guy at the very end. So again, so the fisherman. The idea is he's seeking out Aquaman in like kind of the seaside town Aquaman lives around. He is. Aquaman's a little nomadic. Just he's in a fishing town. Doesn't have to be the same one from Justice League, but wherever. He seeks out Aquaman at a bar. You know, Aquaman just hangs out at bars all the time, and he wants to thank him for the save. He wants to he says, "Oh man, I've been looking. I hear you hang out at the bars a lot, so it's gonna come." It's like the next day, so he comes there. This is like the party's not on Christmas Day. It's the week of Christmas. You know, it's like a couple days, maybe like a day or before Christmas or so. But you know, it's the week of Christmas. That's when all this is taking place. It's a day later, and let's just say the Christmas party in question takes place like the 23rd, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, so the fisherman is seeking out Aquaman purely just to thank him for saving his life. He says, I'm sorry to bother you. I just want to say, you really saved my bacon out there. Thanks. And I was hoping if I could I was hoping to buy you a drink.
Uh-huh.
And Aquaman eating fruitcake, by the way, because the idea Aquaman loves the holidays.
I like that.
Aquaman loves the holidays. He's eating fruitcake at the bar. You know, he's just kind of drinking maybe some eggnog here and there, and you'll see how that kind of pays off. But you know, he says, yeah, sure, pull up a chair. So Aquaman's minimal, but he's fun. Now I'll get to one of my favorite scenes. All my Wonder Woman connected stuff here is really great. So we have a scene with Wonder Woman and Superman. They are suited up and seemingly ready for action. And Wonder Woman, she's a little nervous. So again, it's kind of a misdirect in the beginning here. Like, oh god, we have another action sequence here, and they're all suited up. Superman's called her for a very important reason. Wonder Woman's kind of nervous. Wonder Woman's never nervous. What's going on here, man? And Superman's saying, Diane, these kids are counting on us. And we reveal that it's a charity function. They're suited up for a charity function that Lois set up. Essentially, Toys for Tots.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really proud of this because basically what I did with Wonder Woman all throughout this thing, the idea is that Wonder Woman's arc in Justice League is that she's uncomfortable being a public figure, basically being the icon that people are looking to her this year as.
Right. I like that.
And I noticed that this kind of connects to what Superman's problem was, and kind of what the arc from Batman v Superman, well, just from the Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, to what we have in Justice League. Superman just he doesn't care about that anymore. So I figured let's massage out a problem we've had in the DCEU and address it in a really sweet scene. So Superman gives a pep talk to Diana behind the scenes before they go out to this basically a little Toys for Tot charity drive. He basically just to boil it down here to get to the essentials. So maybe this might need some finessing, but essentially here's the main points. Superman tells Diana a real nice like a really good Cavill performance. Like Cavill has two fantastic speeches in this whole thing. So this is the first one. He says, Diana, I was in your shoes. I felt self-conscious about being a symbol. In the end, I just simplified it. I just simplified it to helping people. It's we're here to help we're here helping the less fortunate. People who need holiday spirit. That's what we are. And basically, like kind of what this transfers to Wonder Woman is that she was an emissary of the Amazons. In this case, she's an emissary of the holiday spirit. She's going to bring in the holiday spirit to other people, and Superman inspired that in her. So the two of them are unveiled, and basically they're hanging out with people. They're hanging out. They're taking pictures. They're doing like more like they're doing some interviews with people. They're showing off their powers. They're having a good time. They're getting the message out there. Basically, it's like, oh my god, like you think, okay, they're going to be two people dressed like Superman and Wonder, but oh my god, it's the actual Superman and Wonder Woman. They're there. So the idea is like anyone just kind of happening by, they're going to like pull their phones up or something. They're just going to get there, and it's going to draw people to the spot, and they're all going to donate toys for Tots or charity stuff. And I thought it was like a really kind of happy. Again, Superman is Santa. These are the things are basically Superman is Santa bringing Christmas to children. Like there's a cute little gag where like a little girl like tugs on Superman's cape and asks, like, "Are you Santa Claus?" That's a vague allusion to the mustache and the facial hair. By the way, it's like, "Hey, are you Santa Claus?" Like, no, I don't have a beard.
Oh, God.
And like Lois Lane through the Daily Planet, she kind of put this together. So it's like a Goodwill Toys for Tots type thing. And Wonder Woman, importantly, she's having a good time, so she's more comfortable in the symbol position here. So again, she's kind of taking that responsibility on real naturally. And I thought it was a real fun, nice holiday thing. And what I'm getting to with the meta quality of Wonder Woman is that the human trafficking thing, I did make an allusion to the Wayne Foundation charity, which in real life there is a charity that Kevin Smith has kind of talked about. He's helped form actually with Jamie Walton, which basically it tries to stop human trafficking of underage girls.
Mm-hmm.
So essentially, that's kind of like it's kind of a little meta allusion to okay, Wonder Woman has like kind of a charity kick going on this holiday special, you know. Anyway, so let's see. Oh yes, and one other cute. This is the last kind of button to that scene is that after the kids are kind of asking like Superman, like basically they're asking Santa related questions, and one of them is like, "Who's?" And this is a reference to Robot Chicken, by the way. Who's faster, you or Santa Claus? And Superman just has this really cute response and saying, "Well, I haven't raced Santa Claus, but I did race someone in a red suit.
Nice.
Who do you think won?" And so there's a little reference.
We'll never know, Dragon.
A little post-credit reference there. So, speaking of the Flash, again, we go from two happy scenes to some bummers of a scene. So we mentioned the Flash, we allude to the Flash, and now we see the Flash at work. So Barry Allen's on the job, he's at work, but he's really frustrated and he's really depressed after seeing the state that his father's in. You know, he looks at the photo of he and his father on his desk, and he just slams it down until he just can't bother. He can't bear to look at it, like, oh god, like how I've let my father down. Like, oh god.
Right.
So the idea, we take the happy-go-lucky Flash, and as much as we love Ezra Miller doing that sort of thing, I want to add a little bit of that Batman connection here. The idea, the whole premise of the Flash in the special is that he's going down the path of a Batman, and it's going to be up to Batman to save him from that. So that's the mission goal of this whole Flash Batman thing I'm building here. So Flash, he's pushing himself in reviewing the evidence, and this really cool visual sequence here. The idea is that Flash, while he's just waiting on all the boring stuff to happen, with kind of the ADHD effect we've kind of shown before, just he's doing all these multitasking. Mm-hmm. In this case, while that's happening, he's just pushing himself to use his super speed in creative ways. Where basically he takes all the evidence, all the photos, everything. What he's done is he's printed it and Xeroxed all the papers and everything, like recreating the crime scene photos. And what he's done is almost like Misty Knight from Luke Cage. What he's done is with his super speed, he's basically almost like a tornado effect. He's basically placing all the images in midair, so he's recreated like a paper version of the crime scene of where his mother was killed.
Okay, I like that.
And the idea of like that's an unhealthy thing to do too, because as he's doing that, it's like with the kind of that slow-mo lightning effect and everything. It's just like it's a real trippy, traumatizing effect on Barry here, where he's kind of having a brief flash of like when the crime went down, and like his hearing it. Like we don't see it because again the Flash TV show's already done it, but we hear like the screams of his mother and his father. It's like honey, all that sort of stuff. Mm-hmm. And also, I should say, as this whole scene's going on, we have like a tragic kind of music choice going on here. We have "I'll Be Home for Christmas" because this whole scene it's him trying to bring his father home for Christmas. So again, the father is definitely present through all this. Like, "I'll be home for Christmas." Again, as all that depressing stuff's going on, and we transition with that music still playing and showing the interconnectedness of this all here. As the music's playing, as Barry's he's frustrated, he's like, "Oh, I'm getting nowhere with this." He's just really depressed as he's getting wigged out by kind of he's getting an unhealthy headspace. We cut to Bruce in front of the Robin suit as that music's playing, and as he's like hauntingly leaving the scene. I'll be home for Christmas. So again, we see Bruce Wayne just kind of brooding in front of that Robin suit because around the holidays he's really missing Jason. Mm-hmm. He feels guilty over Jason. Alfred interrupts here. It's a somber sequence. Alfred interrupts. He tells him about the Flash's visit. This is, sir, here's what's happened while you were gone taking care of the Calendar Man matter. Barry Allen visited, and he wanted me to give you this, an invitation for Clark Kent's party. It's on Smallville, in Smallville. And, Batman, it takes a moment of pause, because he really doesn't, like, a part of him wants to go, and we'll find out why he doesn't want to go. He turns down Clark's party. He says, just RSVP, don't RSVP out for his tell him I won't be able to make it. Just I'm not gonna be able to. And Alfred's pleading with him. Come on, sir, they're your friends. You should go. And he's no, Alfred. I can't. And he says, especially for the Barry Allen lad. He really looks up to you, sir. I mean, he would really appreciate if you went. Now, Alfred, he looks to the Jason Todd suit, and he looks, and there's that moment of pain there, and just gives a real somber, low key. No, Alfred, I can't.
All right, so I like that. Good dramatic beat.
As that goes on, Bruce kind of goes to the chair, and he's sitting in his chair in front of the monitors, and he has the Wayne Manor is only a little monitor in there, and he's kind of seeing Cyborg also kind of hunched in front of the computer. The idea is that Cyborg and Flash are kind of they're kind of like Batman having a bad influence on these guys, and that's kind of haunting Batman. He's kind of leading people to go down the path of Jason Todd and himself by just being around him. So he's feeling guilty around the holidays. Okay, let's see. Almost done Act 2 here. Let's see, just a couple, three sequences here. He did that. So I just want to make sure I got it here. Flash is frustrated, brooding. Ah, yes. Okay, so Aquaman the Fisherman. We see they're having a fun time. We see their arc kind of happening. They're having a good old time, and you're drinking eggnog and fruitcake, and they're having a really nice conversation there. It's candy canes and then sunshine with those guys. Say that they've been chugging a few rounds of eggnog and possibly vodka, so they've been having a good time. These two guys, and again they realize in conversation they have a lot in common. They spent the whole afternoon together, and they realize their fathers had a very Aquaman's asking him, so what drove you to be a fisherman? Where did it come from? What did your father do? He says, my father worked in a lighthouse. And Aquaman's backstory is his father also worked at a lighthouse. He says, really? Get out of here. Mine too. So yeah, they're really bonding here, and he's just kind of asking more questions here. So why are we out there alone? It's crazy in this weather. Why are we out there alone? He says, well, if I'm being honest, I'm trying to make ends meet for my family here. It's really tough, and honestly, that fish, I was trying to cling on for dear life to those fish earlier on, because it's essentially that's my Christmas bonus. I should be able to make ends meet, but I mean, anything else like a rainy day fun, I'm gonna be out there. I'm trying to do that for my family. And Aquaman, Batman really respects that in this guy. He says, I think I have a way to help you. Come with me. All right. Okay, Cyborg, meanwhile, calls his father. He's calling his father. Alfred and Bruce, he's on the monitor. And importantly, Alfred overhears this whole conversation. Cyborg calls his father, again, just kind of he's been stewing on what Barry said to him. Calls his father, but Silas, calls Silas Stone, and they make a genuine attempt. Silas makes a genuine attempt saying, hello, son, how you been? And he tries to make conversation with a clunky, so how the upgrades been going? Anything you need to report in? Which, of course, is rubbing Cyborg the wrong way, but he knows his father's trying. Mm-hmm. So his father invites Vic to his... He invites Vic to the Star Labs Christmas party. He says, well, son, because, of course, that was a bone of contingency. Have you told anyone at work about me? Have you told anyone at work, what happened to me? And where we left in Justice League, no. Technically, he's not told anyone, but they probably have a good idea after he saved them in Justice League. So Victor, he's trying to kind of honor what his son wanted for him in that movie. He says, you know what, we'd love to have you. I'd love to have you down there, Victor, if you can make it. And basically, Cyborg, a real realistic detail here. He just says, Clark, he invited me to a Christmas party. Basically, Cyborg has no intention of going to Clark's Christmas party, but he's just going to use that as an excuse here, saying, oh, yeah, I got a Christmas party with the friends of Justice League here. I can't... unfortunately, I can't make it, but thanks for the invite anyway. So you feel for both of them in the scene. There's, okay, well, happy holidays, son. And Alfred overhears this. He knows exactly what's going on here. So Alfred's going to do something about that in Act 3. Okay. Here we go. Wonder Woman. Is a part melting one. So Wonder Woman visits Gotham, and she's asking Bruce if he would reconsider going to the... She's in Gotham on other business, but she's stopping by to visit Bruce here, saying hey, Bruce. And again, I'm in the camp of I like the Batman Wonder Woman relationship. I'm a romantic. I'm pulling for it. I know it's not going to end well, but I'd like to think there's a shot.
All right.
Anyway, so basically, I didn't go overboard with it. I just kept it cute. I was so she's visiting the Batcave. She's asking if Bruce would reconsider going to the party, and And aside from that, she's like saying, well, maybe even if you don't want to go to the party, I was thinking, while I'm in town, you solve your calendar man case and you got a little bit of free time right now. Maybe we could, go ice skating, get some hot cocoa, and basically, as she's like kind of throwing out like some holiday suggestions, I don't know, like she's like throwing away like some like stuff we can do around the holidays for fun. Like again, she's Wonder Woman is the emissary of Christmas spirit in this thing. She and Superman are kind of the proponents of Santa Claus and the Christmas spirit. So she's trying to spread Christmas cheer to Batman per Clark's kind of idealism there. So again, she's trying to kind of embody Superman's teachings there, but smartly, and I love this. Only way Gal Gadot could betray it here is that she sees him like stand kind of close to the costume. She kind of puts visually together that okay, he lost someone, much like I lost Steve Trevor. So there's a sensitive time of year for him. So I'm not going to push it, but I'm just like she relents and she says, again, she's trying to spread the Christmas cheer, but she doesn't want to make him uncomfortable, and she does try to get a why out of him though. She just tries to get like she kind of presses a little bit. And basically, Bruce is he respects Diane. Of course, he formed the Justice League with her, so he confesses that, well, Diane, honestly, it's just like I don't want to ruin Clark's Christmas party. I'm not wanted there. I'm not going to fit in there. You guys don't need me there. And he says, well, we like you, Bruce. We just want to get to know you outside the cowl. We want to get to know you outside the costume. Batman. We don't know Bruce Wayne. And it's like Wonder Woman's willing to change. Bruce Wayne, he's refusing to heal himself. Like he's punishing himself, as we're going to find out. He feels guilty for a number of things. He doesn't want to ruin Clark's Christmas. He doesn't want to ruin everyone's Christmas. He's refusing to heal himself. She mentions that she's visiting Gotham General again, some more charity stuff. Again, after kind of Clark's kind of lessons there, Bruce turns her down, just kind of visiting as Bruce Wayne. Says, no, you go without me, Diane. She wishes him kind of a somber Merry Christmas. Batman kind of stews on what she said about kind of reaching out the Christmas spirit and everything, going to the party, and kind of Bruce thinking about Barry Allen earlier on. He's calling his friend Barry, and there's no answer because Barry's obsessed with trying how to exonerate his father, and. Then kind of the act ends on Superman in the next scene, but Batman asks Alfred, I need you to get a reef for me. Tells Alfred to get a reef, and we're going to find out what that reef's for. But Superman and Lois have a real tender moment hanging the mistletoe. She's kissing him under the mistletoe, real cute little moment there. And she says, "What's wrong, Clark?" I'm so happy. I'm so glad to have you back, Clark. But what's got you down? Let's just say. Lois, let's just say I'm working on Christmas Miracle here with a little reunion, but it's kind of proving a little difficult. The idea he wants to have a reunion with Batman. He wants to kind of clear the air with Batman, but Batman's not coming to him. That's the end of Act 2.
Okie dokie. Well, Dragon, I must say, I don't think you should sell yourself short on your actual special, just because you don't have the bonkers meta narrative that I have, because I think basically, Dragon, the fact that my special is somewhat bad kind of works into my meta narrative. So that's kind of like, we'll see how it goes. But just to structure this out, just to structure this third act out, I have basically like part 1 of the third act of the meta narrative, and then I have act 3 of the actual special, followed by part 2 of the third act of the meta narrative. All right, can you keep track of all that?
I think.
So I have a little bit of a meta narrative epilogue at the end.
Okay,
so we get into the meta narrative. Margot Robbie, basically this whole thing's centered around something that happened just a couple days ago, Dragon. So it's very close in our present time. The Golden Globe nominations. So of course Margot Robbie, she's been very concerned about her career path after the DCEU and all those promised Harley Quinn movies, but she actually got a Golden Globe nomination for I, Tonya. And Ben Affleck, he's just, Dragon, this is cute. Like, Ben Affleck's just, he's making an omelet for breakfast, and from the kitchen, he's got like a Kiss the Cook apron on, and he just gives like a thumbs up.
Oh, God.
Affleck and Kevin Smith then kind of have a heart-to-heart with Margot Robbie, Margot, there's going to be ups and downs in your career, but You know,
I'm the
sometimes
guy
you
who
can have
made
to
Jersey
feel like
Girl. You know I know what I'm talking about there.
exactly. Exactly. You know,
He
like when
made
I
Geely.
was
Look at him.
cast as Batman, I felt like I was on top of the world just because. I mean, look at me. I'm the biggest Batman fan. I built a house with a bat cave that my best friend lives in now.
Yeah. And he's a fat man on Batman.
Oh God. But now with all this DCEU stuff and then everything I say, the breaths being blown out of proportions, I feel more down now than I did during the Benefer days. But you know what? This is the start of one promising career and the flickering of a legendary one. Seriously, I feel bad for Affleck because even his last directorial effort kind of flopped. Anyways, okay, so Gal Gadot ends up getting into a fight with Momoa over just how many people. Because remember, they're kind of like drinking at the bar, right? And so they get into a fight over how just how many people are in an outcry over Wonder Woman being snubbed for Golden Globe nominations. And Momoa, he's just basically like, he's going on a drunken tangent like, look, I didn't expect to get Oscar gold for Aquaman, but my performance in the film has become a laughingstock. Look, when I saw the potential in Batman v Superman, when Aquaman comes out and he's all weird and all creepy, and now what is Aquaman? Yeah, hey bro. So basically, Momoa kind of resents the hell out of the fact that they turned Aquaman into a bro. Wait till they see my solo movie, Gal. They'll see. All right. Meanwhile, oh god. Okay, Dragon. I have a little bit of a song selection here, just a personal song. I saw these guys live. It's not quite a Christmas song, but it's called "Stable Boy," so it's kind of vaguely alludes to the religious elements of Christmas. And basically, it's kind of like a silent montage of Henry Cavill, Ray Fisher, and Ezra Miller kind of having a drunken night out on the town after production is wrapped on the Justice League Christmas special. All right.
Okay.
All right. I'm gonna play like maybe like 30 seconds of it. Shoot, give me one sec. It's Stable Boy by Titus Andronicus. Saw these guys live last year. Shoot, sorry, Spotify will play. Yeah. Hold on. Sorry. I refreshed the page. If it doesn't work now, I'll just forget it.
Have a Hemlindigo holiday, folks.
Right.
A blue tea Christmas.
All right, here we go. Here we go. Running, but not running to play. So don't tell a crazy horse you can't run free. We'll stay the course, whatever the weather, with amazing force through the green grass and heather. Running free. A wonderful feeling of pleasure. Woo! Now I know why I was born to die. Oh, I've been informed of forever. Now I know why I was born to die. Oh, I've been informed of all right. Just a little, a little sad, somber bar melody to, set the tone for their, kind of drunken escapades after the rapping is done.
Right.
All right, so Dragon, let's get into the actual end of the Christmas special. Oh boy,
All right.
I've got a bad feeling about this. Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. One more thing we have to set up, Dragon. Oh God, we have to set up the villain. Okay,
Yes,
so we see a
Krampus.
very nefarious-looking Jared Leto going up to a rather timid-looking Jesse Eisenberg.
Oh God.
And Jesse Eisenberg's really disappointed that Lex got cut from the Christmas special, you know, after he was barely in Justice League. Leto's like, look, man, all my method acting, it wasn't for the Joker. You know the role I really wanted to play? Lex Luthor. And I know you, Jesse. I know you. You felt trapped in the Luthor skin. You just wanted to break out and be free and be the Joker. Well, why not? Let's crash the set and let's put on a show. But then, of course, they have one obstacle standing in their way, which is the actor actually playing the Joker. So they have to kidnap the Hamill Claws. And so we see Leto watching the security feed of Mark Hamill chubbing it up with Harrison Ford and Daisy Ridley on the set of the Justice League Christmas special.
What?
Well, I mean, they're not in it, but, you know, they just came by to visit the set.
All right.
They have to kidnap the Hamill Claws. They have to kidnap the Hamill Claws.
You know what? I'm sorry. I want to backtrack for a moment because I really thought it was entertaining with the Jared Leto thing. Jared Leto could actually be really intimidating if they just kind of almost like a Clayface thing with him, where, you know, if you just imagine this. Jared Leto walking up to you and just Jesse Eisenberg and saying, Jesse, look, I want to play Lex Luthor. In order to do that, I have to become you. Basically, I'm gonna go so method with it. I'm going to Jesse, I don't want you to take this the wrong way, but I'm gonna have to steal your life.
Oh God!
That means you're going to have to become me. Hand me the clippers so I can steal your hair.
I mean, honestly, Dragon, that's pretty much the idea.
Oh yeah, this guy. That's a movie I'd like to see with Jared Leto. Jared Leto stealing people's identities and just becoming them. Honestly, that'd be creepy.
Okay, so Act 3, the start of Act 3 centers around a big montage where the...
no, stealing of Hamill Claws. So you get sidetracked. So again, so Daisy Ridley and the Harrison Ford are there randomly.
Well, no, Dragon, it's just meant for, like, dramatic purposes, all right? It's like, oh, look at Mark Hamill. He's so unsuspecting. He's hamming it up with his Star Wars friends. He has no idea what's coming.
Okay, I got you now. Okay.
All right, and like I said, we're going to go back to that plot. That plot is actually going to work its way into the special, believe it or not, Dragon. So, okay, so Act 3 centers around a big montage where the Flash, Aquaman, and Superman are all delivering Christmas presents via their different methods, land, air, and sea. You know, it's kind of like a mini race between all three of them. Aquaman, we can tell, is not effective. It's kind of like, you know, like the wave format's kind of like flooding out different towns. It's basically causing more harm than good. So Aquaman decides to, he decides to retreat back to help out with Bruce with the Krampus situation, because the Krampus situation is Aquaman's fault to begin with, of course. Meanwhile, it leaves Flash and Superman, you know, to deliver the presents. Okay, so let's see. So Batman is doing tactical research. Aquaman, like I said, he wants to clean up the mess he made. Cyborg, meanwhile, you're gonna like this. Cyborg decided to hack into the internet to basically like jump start, you know, like basically like high speed deliver all the packages that wouldn't have delivered on time on Christmas. So, you know, like Amazon drones and stuff like that, you know. I don't know. Just somehow hacking into computer gets expedited shipping. Yeah.
No, the drone thing I could buy. Like, so we're hacking in the drones and delivering everything faster. It's
okay.
Cool.
Okay, but then that's the thing, Dragon. Once all the presents are delivered, Krampus appears. Cranston makes his grand return.
There's like heavy metal music and everything when he
God. All this is going on as Wonder Woman is chasing down the Gotham City Sirens. We have Harley. We have Firefly, played by Kristen Shaw.
But you don't need to make Firefly female. I mean, you can go. You don't have to commit if you don't want to.
Well, I realize that, but it's just Gotham City Sirens. So
sure.
And Kristen Shaw, I don't know. I just think she'd play like a good, like insane pyromaniac character.
No, I could buy it. I'm down for it. I just wanted to point it out in case,
Of course, Vera Farmiga's Poison Ivy is kind of like the cool aunt of the group.
Oh, yeah.
And then my take on Tabitha Gallivan is that she's played by Zoe Bell, and she's actually a British upper-class girl who kind of weaseled her way into Gotham's elite. So she's almost kind of like a Sophia Falcone in a way.
Huh.
Okay, anyway, so Batman steps in and helps out with the action, but meanwhile, Lex Luthor and the Joker, Lex Luthor being played by Jared Leto and the Joker being played by Jesse Eisenberg crash the party. And this is where fiction starts to collide with reality here, Dragon.
Oh, jeez.
So Batman gets furious, right? And he charges at Leto Lex Luthor, and he pummels him, basically being like, "Where's Hamill? Where's Hamill?"
Okay, that I really do like, though.
All right.
Where's
Eisenberg
Hamill?
actually kind of goes down for it, but Leto slips away. And Eisenberg, he's got kind of just like, you know what? The kid, he's got nothing going on. He didn't really do anything wrong. Just give the kid a pass. I mean, now you see Me Too bombed, like poor kid. He's kind of going the way of Michael Cera. All right, Dragon. So the Krampus has taken all the presents that the League has worked so tirelessly to deliver around the world. And basically the Krampus has the power to kind of like, teleport all the presents back into his sack. So we have this big fight atop the globe of the Daily Planet, the globe on the Daily Planet building, where Krampus, sort of King Kong style, has this giant sack of toys, and Grinch style, he's threatening to throw them over the top of the building because that's Krampus's big scheme. He just, he wants to destroy all the presents. But this leads to a battle between Aquaman and Krampus. Aquaman takes Krampus down, leaving Soups to catch the presents. And Soups is kind of starting a last-minute urgent delivery. But as this is going on and the sun's starting to come up, Aquaman, because he killed Krampus, has inherited the powers of St. Nicholas. He's able to teleport all the respective presents to everyone on a whim, thus saving Christmas and becoming the DCEU's new Santa.
Huh.
He's got the beard.
Oh, sure.
All right, so the movie ends triumphantly with, or the special, I should say, ends triumphantly with Flash and Soups racing around the city as Aquaman rides a wave with a sack of presents. He starts delivering to Metropolis citizens. The special ends in a low-key way, though, with Wonder Woman and Batman having cleaned up the mess of the sirens together, sharing a moment underneath the mistletoe.
Ah.
All right. And are you ready to hear how the crazy meta stuff wraps up?
Sure.
Oh, God. Okay. So Ben Affleck saves Mark Hamill from Jared Leto's method acting, basically what you were pointing out, like, I'm going to become you, Mark. You're the perfect.
Hello? Yep. Hello? Hello? No, sorry about that, folks. I think he's temporarily muted for a moment. He'll be back, I'm sure.
Hello?
Hello, Tiki, you there?
Yeah, what's the last thing you heard? I'm sorry.
Basically, Leto was getting in Mark Hamill's face saying, I'm going to become you, Mark.
Okay, yeah, that's basically it. That's basically it.
You're the best
So
Joker.
Ben Affleck saves Mark Hamill from Jared Leto. And Leto basically goes down for a whole bunch of sexual harassment stuff due to his Suicide Squad method acting.
I'm sorry, real quick, I just wanted to infer one great line that Leto would have to Mark Hamill.
Go ahead.
You could have one of two great lines. One line would be, I'm about to hurt you very, very bad. Or more accurately, Mark Hamill, you're about to have one very bad day.
Oh, God. Oh, God. Okay, so anyways. So, yeah, like I said, Leto basically goes down for some sexual harassment charges due to the method acting in Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Because, I don't know, folks, it still weirds me out. It's like sending used condoms to female cast members. That's really not okay.
And used anal beads.
Right. So it's like, let's just get our villain to have his comeuppance.
Not exactly a hole-in-one for method actors.
And Mark Hamill is announced as the one true Joker.
All right.
I don't even know what that title officially means, but he is the one true Joker.
To rule them all?
Sure. Why not? All right. So Affleck feels happy that he saved Hamill, but he's bittersweet that he's bittersweet that the special was a bust, because the special is just like, Aquaman is Santa? Krampus? What the hell is all this? Oh my God, you've got walking trees. This is by far the worst DC thing I've ever seen. But Gal Gadot kind of, is kind of like, well, now, Ben, you care what happened to the Justice League. So you softened your position. You really did want to see something become of this Christmas special. Okay, so Margot Robbie, she's a bit unhinged by the Golden Globes pressure, but is finding strength to move away from the Harley Quinn role as Jared Leto sits behind bars. Meanwhile, Cavill, Miller, and Ray Fisher stumble into the morning, unsure of what the future of their respective careers hold. Finn.
Poe?
Sure, why not? Yeah, that's it.
All right. Okay.
So go ahead and jump into your Act 3, and I guess we'll kind of critique each other at the end.
Okay, so Act 3 for me. Let's see. We start with Aquaman.
Does he turn into the DCEU version of Santa?
You know, Tiki, I'm just a hair away from that, but no. So Aquaman, so basically Aquaman, he calls. I pulled from one of the most memorable bits from the bit of the Aquaman, the New 52, a bit everyone really liked. I mean, some like your really harsh critics will probably say, no, it wasn't that creative. But honestly, I think a lot of just your average casual viewers really liked about Aquaman and the New 52 is that we really kind of examine a guy with a chip on his shoulder being the most ridiculous member of the Justice League, but being really cool, just kind of taking ownership of that. So I kind of have a little bit of that in this Aquaman scene here. So Aquaman, it's composed in one little gag though, so I kind of like drew nods like something everyone really liked from that comic run. So Aquaman, he calls a legion. It's basically the payoff of what he was going to do for that fisherman. Like he said, he had a plan that kind of help the fishermen out around the holiday. So Aquaman, they go outside, they're like he's on the dock, or see, he doesn't even have to get into a boat, like they're on the dock. And Aquaman, he calls for a legion of fish and squid and all sorts of undersea creature, and he calls for them, and they all get into like a giant like net after net after net that he and the fishermen have set up there. So they all come to them, and then they have to get into a boat. And it's kind of like that awesome shot I love in the trailer of Justice League where Aquaman just walks that beautiful practical shot. It looks like a Snyder shot when he walks out there and like the water surrounds him. Remember that shot?
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like something like that going on. So we so basically, like Aquaman and the fishermen, they're hauling these fish, like they're putting them in nets, like one after one, working together, like all those boatloads worth of fish. And here's the gag. Here it's a reference to the comics here, where the fisherman's asking, "So yeah, how does that work? You talk to fish? I mean, and then you're kind of serving them up to people. You eat them too. Like, isn't that kind of twisted?" And Aquaman, Jason Momoa here, I bring in this line here. It's, even if, here's the thing, there's insurance on this gag you're taking. Even if this doesn't land, the backup is the punctuation at the end that will definitely get people to like the line. Jason Momoa says, "Nah, I don't talk to him. I move him telepathically," which is true. Basically, the idea he manipulates the fish, like it's like the goldfish thing, where they have like you can't carry an intelligent conversation with the fish. You can only tell them to go like a different way, or like to come this way. It's like, so he says, "No, I don't really." He's like brushing off, like, "No, I don't talk to him. I don't talk to fish. I move him telepathically." And then and then just like a moment of bizarre pause goes by, and the fisherman, voiced by the wonderful John DiMaggio, says, "Outrageous." That little double Aquaman joke there. So yeah. All right. Meanwhile, this is a beautiful scene here, I guess. And this is where definitely the Wayne Foundation stuff comes into play here, where Wonder Woman arrives at Children's Hospital. And of course, there's a real life occurrence that happens with other people. They Chris Pratt, Chris Evans,
Sure.
Jamie Alexander, Lady Sif from the Thor movies, like all sorts of celebrities. It's always charmed me, so I found a way to finally put it in there. But Tiki, how moving is it that you could actually have that, but with a real superhero in this fictional context?
Yeah, it's a good idea.
The actual Wonder Woman showing up at a children's hospital.
I'm actually surprised they haven't addressed something like that in the MCU yet.
Yeah, that would be. I mean,
especially like Tony Stark.
That's the thing. We've had in real life, we've had things where he's acted as Tony Stark, but
yeah, exactly, right.
It's strange, but yeah, that's a bit where DC could get one over on Marvel right there if they put
right.
So basically, you have Gal Gadot at her most charming here as Wonder Woman. It'd be fantastic. To this scene, I'd love to see. Honestly, in Wonder Woman 2 or anything, I just want to see this scene desperately here. She just walks in, she's talking with the kids. It's a real world example, like how Gal Gadot might even act even if the camera isn't rolling. She's explaining to these kids, these sick children who are asking, like, how does the last, like, they're in awe of her. It's boys and girls, they're all like, oh my God, Wonder Woman, look at her. She has a shield, she's got a sword, she's got a lasso, look at her. So, how does the lasso work? And she explains, she kind of homages my favorite line in Wonder Woman. They're asking, like, how would, basically they're asking Wonder Woman all sorts of questions, like, about her origin and stuff, and she's basically explained the Wonder Woman movie to them. Or she's saying, "Oh, I was made from clay, but actually I'm a god killer." That sort of thing. Basically, the whole made from, like, "Oh, look, what a cute little baby." It's that sort of gag,
right?
Basically saying, "Oh yes, I was made from clay." I love it. She's just taking ownership. She's treating the kids like adults here, just explaining it to them. I was made from clay, but I found I was actually a god killer, and it wasn't the sword. The sword broke. And they're asking, like, "Is it true you worked with Batman?" Says, "Oh yes, I worked with Batman and Superman. We killed kind of a giant monster. It was really." So again, she's blowing these kids' minds left and right, and she reads to them, and she's talking again, homage to like the old 40s stuff of Wonder Woman. She's kind of some of them are like talking baseball. "Hey, Wonder Woman, do you want to join our softball team?" He says, "Yeah, sure, yeah, I'm down for that." Yeah. God. So this is really sweet stuff, honestly. It's like the charm factor would be like 211. And again, just kind of like the sweet kind of real world charities kind of blending in with kind of life there. So again, the main reason I keep hyping up the Wayne charities for this bit here. So after all that sweet meeting scene, she's on her way out. She's about to go down the elevator. But she notices those placards. You can see these placards all over like hospitals and museums and stuff where it says, on a wall filled, she's kind of admiring this wall filled with like the names of the people who have donated to the hospital. And there's a huge, like the biggest donation on there is anonymous. And a nurse kind of wanders by and she says, "Oh yeah, you're admiring the," of course, woman's like, "Oh my God, it's Wonder Woman here." And she says, "Oh yeah," the gag might be she doesn't even know if that's the real Wonder Woman. She just might assume that's like a Wonder Woman impersonator. Regardless, this nurse just kind of while she's waiting for the elevator says, "Oh yeah, you're admiring the thing, that guy. Yeah, it says anonymous, but I'll let you in a little secret. I recognize, I know who that guy is. See, there's this old man. We kind of like he shows up around every holiday, around every Christmas. Old guy, white hair, glasses. He's a thin guy though. He's not an old not an old fat guy with a long beard. He's an old kind of a stern looking old guy comes around here, big window glasses. And like Santa Claus, he donates this huge anonymous amount of money to this hospital. Not only this hospital, I get some friends I have working like ERs all over the place. all the hospitals in Gotham. There's these huge anonymous donations made by this one guy. It's a really nice thing. It's out there. Doesn't even want to know who he is.
Mm-hmm.
So the idea is that Bruce Wayne threw Alfred. Like Bruce Wayne doesn't want the credit.
Bruce Wayne is basically like the DCEU Santa Claus.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. Well, we think.
All right. Well, that makes more sense than Aquaman being the DCU Santa Claus through like a weird like Tim Allen Santa Claus type arrangement.
But you see what I'm saying? I'm saying like you have Superman as like kind of the on the surface Santa, where Bruce Wayne's kind of he's a Santa Claus in denial.
No, I get it. Yeah, it's very clever. Very nice parallel there.
So let's see. So Wonder Woman gets in the elevator and it's like this little private building. And the elevator door closes. She kind of gives like a smile, like, "Oh, that Bruce Wayne. He has the Christmas spirit after all." Just kind of gives a smile like that. So again, we transition from talking about Alfred kind of doing Bruce's dirty work here to a really sweet scene with Cyborg and Alfred. So
now, this
Alfred
has been building up the whole time.
So Alfred brings Cyborg some eggnog and a flash drive, like a little ribbon around it. And basically, we have kind of a surrogate father connection here going on, where Cyborg is a guy. Of course, he's having some issues with his father, and he's always had kind of like a father who wasn't there for him in those moments. And Alfred, being a surrogate father, is kind of trying to kind of mend the relationship between Cyborg and his father.
Mm-hmm.
Where basically he gives some sage advice here, and he shows him something that has been established. And again, this is me reaching back into the other films and trying to fix stuff. So he shows Vic. He puts the flash drive and he shows Vic the infamous Justice League flash drive from Batman v Superman.
Oh,
and we had all those video files of all the files that Lex Luthor had taken of the heroes keeping tabs on them. And Silas, we saw a few clips of Silas trying to bring Cyborg back and getting nowhere with it. Getting really frustrated until he used the mother box, and of course that brought Cyborg back. Remember?
Yeah.
So here, it's basically we're seeing more of those other footage of the unsuccessful attempts, and she's showing this, and Vic has never seen this before. And he explains, yes, Lex Luthor took this footage, and it kind of happened, there's a whole thing between Wonder Woman and Batman. And the point is we have it in our possession now. So he shows him all the unsuccessful attempts, and basically what Victor sees, like his father truly kind of agonizing over saving his son at unsuccessful attempt after unsuccessful attempt until what he knows to be the mother box, because he remembers that. But
my God, you retconned the flash drive into a good plot device.
Right?
No, good going, Dragon. Good going. I like it.
And basically what Alfred says, and this is a connecting theme, basically there's a theme of like kind of family and being alone around the holidays, and of course with the theme of family here, and this is a big thing, it's going to connect to the huge, most important scene in the whole special coming up.
Okay.
Alfred kind of gives some sage advice here. We're saying, Master Stone, like Victor, we're not always our best selves, but when it matters. Basically, we're not always our best selves, but when it matters, we're there for our loved ones. That's a kind of approximation of what advice he gives. Basically, we're there when it counts. Even if we're not there, when it counts, we're there. And Cyborg thanks Alfred. Really nice, quiet note. Thank you, Alfred.
Yeah,
anytime,
nice. I like that.
Anytime, Master Stone, and they toast their eggnogs, because Alfred also poured himself some eggnog. They toast like little eggnog. It's a really cute little.
And then Mr. Turner's in the background, just like nog.
And Alfred just shouts at him, "Get out of here!"
just dead.
We're talking about complex father-son relationships. You deserve to be in prison.
Oh God!
You're an abomination. Get out! Alfred's losing along in Subrest.
Alfred would consider the Turners abominations, wouldn't he?
Like Alfred's reaching for a gun. He says, "No, Alfred, don't take that far. Just take it easy."
God.
We know Alfred. Alfred likes his guns. Anyway,
and he also likes. Well, I won't say what else.
Anyway, so the big party. After that, I'm sorry, before that. Okay, here's like a quick little vignette. I was going to make it into a bigger plot line, like condensing that like a sweet, like little kind of hallmark moment with Superman.
Okay.
So we build up to the party here. So Lois and Martha, they're baking Christmas cookies. They're hanging out. It's like, oh, isn't that nice? Kind of Lois. And basically, Lois, you went from Metropolis in that earlier like kind of toy drive scene. Now she's going. Everyone's coming down to Smallville now. I guess where everyone's converging on the same location. So Lois and Martha, they're baking cookies for the big party. Basically, after the cookies done. everyone will be there, essentially. That's what the time is looking like right now. So Clark has to run to the store in Smallville. He's got okay, I'll be right back as I get some stuff for the party. I'll be right back. He's in a supermarket, so, a grocery store, like small town grocery store, and hey, he's in an aisle, and his aisle is then like a desperate homeless man tries to rob the cashier. Pulls a gun on him, pulls a gun on the cashier, like tells him, get out of the way, I need the money. And basically what we have here, he doesn't pull Superman, he doesn't like beat the guy up or anything. Basically Clark Kent, not Superman, Clark Kent talks him down. He says, hey, you don't need to do this. It's the holiday season. Things aren't that bad. He says, basically what he's saying, this is kind of tying into Superman coming back from the dead and all that stuff. He says, hey, listen, no one's getting upset here. You can come back from this. It's not too late. And basically, there's a Bruce Wayne allegory here of you can come back from this, and that's the undercurrent theme where we're connecting Bruce Wayne, we're connecting Superman, that they're kind of changing in the DCEU right now. They're both kind of going through a transitional phase, and that's kind of what they're processing in different ways, obviously. So Superman's very kind of positive and optimistic in his approach. You're saying, basically, he's saying, look, I'm a reporter. Let's talk this out. Let's get out of here. We'll talk about it, and I'll help you. You don't have to do it this way.
Okay.
And he puts the gun down. They walk out of there, and Clark Kent, he pays for the damage to get. He's probably throwing some stuff around. He's like, hey, here's don't call the cops or anything. Just thank you. Grabs his groceries. They're out. And basically, we have no dialogue. We just see it all. He and the homeless man go to a diner. He's getting the guy a meal and everything. They're talking it over, and the idea of Clark Kent's writing stuff in his notebook. He's taking all this down. And again, no dialogue. We're seeing this from a kind of a classic diner shot, almost from the outside.
Right.
Yeah.
All right.
So then now it's the time that was like a little sweet scene with Clark Kent to establish, okay, we love Superman. So it's the big party.
Sure.
Party, people start entering. So Flash and Wonder Woman arrive. They're the first to arrive. Cyborg calls Superman on his phone saying, Clark, listen, I can't make it. I really appreciate the invitation, but I'm afraid I won't be able to make it. And Clark said, okay, well, I'll see you some other time, Vic. And what we reveal is that he's walking in the snow right now, and he's walking to Star Labs.
Okay.
So he's taking his father up on the Christmas Star Labs invitation, and he gets a warm but trepidatious welcome of everyone's just kind of taking it there's a realistic thing, or everyone's kind of taking they're a little taken aback by it.
Sure.
But Silas, he just walks up to his son, gives him a big hug, and says, "Welcome, son. Come in. Let's get you something. Let's get you something to eat." I mean, let's get you all warmed up. Let's get you in here. So basically, Cyborg kind of confronting his fears and also kind of embracing his father, and whether that's a good or bad thing, he's moving forward. Thanks to Alfred. Okay, so then here's a big scene here, folks. This is the huge crux of everything. So Bruce is outside Kent Farm. He's right outside, Martha's house, and he almost knocks. He sees Barry and Diana through the window, by the Christmas tree and everything. He just sees them there. And Bruce, he can't bring himself to knock. He turns back. But Clark flies down. And Clark Kent regalia, he kind of flies down subtly behind him, kind of pulls a bad entrance on him. And Bruce is caught. Bruce can't turn back. He has to explain himself. He basically tried to avoid Clark, but Wonder Woman kind of changed his mind a little bit on that. And now he's lost his nerve, and now he's caught. So now here's the big heart-to-heart villain, folks. I'm retroactively trying to fix one of the single biggest problems in Batman v Superman here. So cross your fingers. So he was asking Bruce directly, Bruce, what's wrong? Why are you punishing yourself like this? Why don't you just come to the party? He wants an answer, and Bruce is. I'm simplifying it here, but essentially this is what the crux of the conversation is. Bruce is they both kind of air out their sides of this. Where Bruce says, "Clark, I deserve it. That's why I deserve to punish myself here." The idea is he's probably told him a little bit of this over the months that have passed, but Bruce has said, ever since Jason Todd. Ever since what happened to Jason happened, most likely 10 years ago, I'm just going to spitball 5 to 10 years ago, it's Jason Todd died. I've been disappointing my parents. Ever since what happened to Jason, I've lost myself. I've been strangling the line I've been walking on until I would fray the wire until I break it. And Clark, you're the constant reminder of that, of me losing my principles, me losing the promise I made to them. Every time I see you, Clark, at times I felt like I let them down. I can't bear to look at you sometimes. I tried I tried going back to basics, and basically with the calendar man thing we saw, I've tried going back to basics ever since you come back. I've tried getting to where I was, basically back to the classic Batman point, where he doesn't kill anyone, where he's classic Batman. But I'm different. Bringing you back, that the fact that you're back, that doesn't make a difference. I can't get back to where I was. I forged I forged your murder weapon. I forged the weapon that killed you. I was going to kill you because I lost my optimism. I lost my Robin. That's why I did it. For my own pride, I was gonna. Basically, bring you back. I can't. I tried to redeem my loss. I put all the loss that I suffered at the hands of the Wayne financial thing. I put that on you unfairly, and basically, Batman's been kicking himself for that. Even with Superman back to the land of the living, it doesn't undo all the stuff that he's done. Now, basically, with some clarity, some time has passed. Now, Batman's kind of gotten over his anger from Batman v Superman. He's now looking at with perspective. He's feeling a lot of guilt since then.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, I'm addressing the whole Batman killing people thing. So it happened, but he's just trying to make it.
All right. Gotcha.
Anyway, so Superman's response to it is really, really nice here. So Batman saying, "Look, I don't deserve to be on this team. I don't belong here. I don't want to ruin your Christmas here. I don't deserve this. I don't deserve this happy family. I don't deserve it." Superman basically Superman's taking the clean slate approach here, where he's saying, "Look, Bruce," and this is Henry Cavill at his finest here. That's what if let's say. Hypothetically, neither of us were our best selves back then, Bruce. Neither of us were our best selves. This is I'm looking at this as an opportunity for rebirth for us here. We can be our we can have our family and friends back, even if it's in a small way. We can have them back. We just move forward here, okay, Bruce. We dwell on what went down before. Me just kind of questioning the godhood thing. You with the you losing your way with your parents. This could be a clean start for us here. We can I forgive you, Bruce. You brought me back to her. Pointing to Lois in the window. You brought me back to her. You brought me back to my lineage, pointing to Martha as well. Look, Bruce, we're friends. Unconventional, different, but we're friends. Mm-hmm. And that really just kind of hits them both there in the fields, and then just Bruce kind of has a quiet nod of acceptance, and they walk in. He walks into the door. Then after that, so Aquaman, the fisherman enter, and the fisherman's family. So it's Aquaman doing yet another nice thing. And here's the thing: Cyborg's not there, so they could get away with it because no one's in costume. Cyborg would be the only dead giveaway of oh god, those guys. They must be the Justice League. So this fisherman doesn't know. So I thought it was a night. Well, that's kind of why I wrote Cyborg out of the thing too. Just fisherman in there. Wonder Woman has a quick, harmless kiss under the mistletoe with Bruce. Basically, we're just showing that Bruce is kind of accepting that family that has just been kind of denying himself out of guilt. Lois and Clark, they're dancing. And by the way, Home for the Holidays is playing. So again, everyone's kind of home right now. Martha offers Bruce milk and cookies. And again, it's kind of it's also a vague allusion to the whole Martha thing. But again, Bruce in some way has a bit of that motherly quality back. It's kind of nice.
You know what? In Justice League, I kind of appreciated the Bruce and Martha thing. All right.
That's what I'm saying. I like it too.
Yeah.
Anyway, so you'll notice that Bruce, while things are kind of turn up aces for Bruce right now. Okay, he's kind of slowly, begrudgingly accepting kind of this closest these friends and this family and everything. He notices that, again, especially with the song choice, Home for the Holidays, again, home being that, I'll be home for Christmas. Barry's, he's putting on a happy face, but he sees that Barry's still really down in the dumps. And importantly, in acting, only Affleck could convey in this scene, just kind of notices something that, there's something off with this guy. He recognizes something in Barry. And here's our last scene. Biggie. This is where the whole Barry Allen, Bruce Wayne thing comes in for it. Based on my foreshadow for the future of the DCEU.
All right.
So Bruce, he's in the alley. He's in Crime Alley with the wreath. He's in with the Christmas wreath that Alfred gave, that he asked Alfred to get from earlier on. And a moment goes by, and a lightning bolt. Of course, it's Barry Allen. Barry Allen shows up because Bruce has asked him to meet him there in that very intimate spot for a very important reason. Bruce explains the significance. Do you know what this place is? He says, No, what is this place? This is where my parents died. It was where I watched my parents die. Every year, every holiday season, I leave a wreath here instead of flowers.
No.
And basically, what he's getting onto is like, I brought you here for a reason, Barry, not just to share that depressing story with you. I brought you here. I brought you here because I recognized something in you at that Christmas party. This is like Christmas Eve, if anything. It's like I recognized that look in that path you're going down, Barry. I went down it myself, and he advises against it, like Bruce, like Barry, I don't go down that path. This has come from a guy who knows, a guy who's gone down that path for 20 years. Don't go down that path.
Uh-huh.
It took me years to process the trauma I suffered as a boy, and basically, it took me a few years as a boy to process the grief, and after that, I tried to be proactive. I tried to solve the case. I tried to be involved. I'd call the GCPD every weekend. I would ask what the progression of the cases. I tried to find the guy, but then one day, the honest cop assigned to my case. Of course, he's implying Jim Gordon. The honest cop assigned to my case told me it was a Joe Chill case. This is an idea borrowed from Scott Snyder. Scott Snyder, he kind of shaped himself. It's fine. This is like an early idea in like the Court of Owls that Snyder had, but then he changed his mind on as the books went on. So he had a really cool idea about Joe Chill being like a turn of a John Doe, so basically Joe Chill. My interpretation of it is it's a cold case mixed with a John Doe. So basically, it's a crime that you can never find the guy for. So basically, that's where the name Joe Chill comes from.
Okay.
So the idea is, it's like not Jim Gordon kind of clipped Bruce's wings at an early age, just kind of made his expectations realistic here by warning him that don't get your hopes up. This is a Joe Chill case, as in you can obsess for your whole life over this. You'll never find the guy because again, it's a cold case of like a guy who's blends Gotham's such a crime-ridden place. It crimes left and right. You can't find the guy. And basically saying like, don't waste your life, Barry. Don't waste your life chasing a white whale you may never find. It's going to drive you mad.
Okay.
But your father, and then there's where Bruce has something with him. He's about to give Flash something. He says, "Look, that said, Barry, your father does deserve justice, and I think I can help with that. I can't promise you closure, but I can promise you justice. I have a friend in the GCPD, of course, Jim Gordon.
Of
I have a
course.
friend in the GCPD with friends at CCPD at Central City Police Department, possibly Joe West. I don't know, maybe."
It's like it's unlikely, but I'm gonna hope at least if we get a Flash movie, I want to see Joe West.
Well, I know we're supposed to get Iris, and I figured Iris would be just he runs it. I don't think they're gonna have the whole childhood friend thing with Iris. I think he's just gonna save Iris, and then it'll make it from there.
Okay.
But the point is, he this is me foreshadowing. I think we're gonna go with is that I have a friend in the GCP has friends at CCPD, and points I have your case file from that night, and that night there were some early street cameras. You gotta remember what happened to the Flash in this context happened most likely in the 90s, like late 90s. That's when Flash's murder of Flash's mother happened in this continuity. The point is, I don't know if it's a stretch either way. Like to say Central City was cutting edge with the camera technology. I don't know. The point is, that it was like the street view was captured on camera.
Mm-hmm.
Like speeding cameras, like early security systems, I don't know. And basically, with Cyborg's help, so I kind of worked in Cyborg there strategically. With Cyborg's help, I was able to pull up some images using the strongest slow motion that we are able to produce on this planet. It's like basically the most cutting edge slow motion we could forge, getting a clear image. And this is what we have. He shows him the file, and the file shows a single still of a faint yellow with with kind of red accents and kind of some dark shade around it. Yeah, because I don't know what the lightning color would be, because it's either red or black. I mean, it might be black to counteract the blue. The point is a different looking version of the Reverse Flash. That's what I'm going for here. It's Reverse Flash, but a DCEU Reverse Flash look.
Okay.
So again, he hasn't called him Reverse Flash or anything, but the point is we, the audience, know that's the Reverse Flash. What I'm basically doing with all of this, so the whole Batman Flash parallel thing and seeing through this whole thing is that I'm convinced. We know Affleck's not going to be doing the Matt Reeves Batman movie. We know that. I'm still pulling hopes that we're going to be doing Flashpoints. Basically, this Christmas special is a backdoor pilot for Flashpoint. Basically saying Reverse Flash is coming, and it's a big story that'll again. That's the graceful exit I would imagine for Affleck, regardless if that's going to happen at the point. It just lets us hint at Flashpoint. At the very least, Reverse Flash is on the horizon, which I think it's a safe bet.
Okay.
So it's Reverse Flash, and the last line is Barry kind of reacting, "My God," because of course he realizes himself, and like, "Oh my God, it's another speedster," without saying speedster because we don't have this in the DCEU yet. Says, "My God," and he says, "Thanks, Bruce." And this parallels the ending of the Flashpoint comic, so this is kind of like a fun little Easter egg too. Like this is basically we reverse the scene with Flashpoint where Barry's thanking Batman instead of Batman thanking Barry. Here he says, "God, thanks, Batman." And then, not in costume or anything. And then Bruce says, "Merry Christmas, Flash." That's really that's where it ends. And casting wise, for Reverse Flash,
yeah.
Woody Harrelson would also be in the running for it too. I mean, if I had to kind of throw his name in the ring, I think he'd make a decent Reverse Flash. But my front runner, though, Michael Rosenbaum, I think would be perfect for Reverse Flash. It'd be a deep cut. He's played the Flash in animation. Of course, he can do a villain, as we've seen with Lex Luthor. He's a really good actor, and he'd be kind of good in that. He's like he could be a more cynical version of Ezra Miller's kind of nerdy, lovable Flash.
Dragon, I will say, actually, in an earlier version of my story, I had Conroy as Reverse Flash.
Wow, that's cool. I mean, I'd be down for that. But honestly, I don't know. I think Michael Rosen might be too brilliant.
But Dragon, you see, the thing of it is, the scene would basically play out. It was like a one scene gag, which is why I decided to cut it. But it was basically like, like Barry would walk into his apartment, right, and then Reverse Flash would be there, but just with a Santa hat on, be like, "Hello, Barry." Barry Allen would be like, "Who the hell are you?" "Why, Barry, isn't it obvious? I'm the ghost of Christmas Flash." All right.
Oh yeah, you see all the seeds I'm tying there because also the books from the prison.
No, Dragon, just to give my final thoughts on your piece, I really do think you went to town on kind of all the Flash stuff, all the Cyborg stuff. Like you really did did a lot of research tying all the stuff together, and I commend you for that for sure. I think my pitch went way more outside the box than yours did, but I don't necessarily think that's for the best. I definitely think yours was a more traditional, basically, Dragon, I kind of got the sense that yours felt like, I'm sure that you used the Justice League, the Justice League Christmas special we've already talked about, the animated one, as sort of a blueprint, and it kind of feels that way, at least, where you're making sure that everyone gets something to do. You're kind of tying different characters in with different iconography of the holidays. You have a really strong villain, much better than just my whole and then the Krampus shows up. Roar! So, and like I said, Dragon, I kind of knew off the top that I was going to pitch a ridiculous Christmas special because I knew that the ending of this whole meta narrative was going to be sort of okay, what now? You know what I mean? Like we tried to save Christmas and we failed. What now? So with that in mind, Dragon, your overall thoughts on my bonkers. I don't know what to call it. Is it a pitch? Is it just a story or what? But what do you think?
Well, I think your Act 1 was the strongest out of everything in there. Yeah, I think your Act 1 was definitely the most impressive thing out of the whole thing. I respect the meta thing, but honestly, I think you lean too hard on the meta thing. But yeah, I think by Act 3 it gets a little convoluted. But the point is, the concept of the meta thing instantly kind of, I mean, honestly, I think you still could add something really strong with just the Christmas special itself. Because at least, again, Act 1 is where I'm getting all of that from. Is that Act 1, just the pitch itself was also really good, but the meta stuff was also good, but it felt like kind of a separate story. You were kind of adding a layer there, but it was kind of made like a great alternative thing. Like, okay, well, if this is not to be taken seriously, just look at it as sort of like a disaster artist, sort of like, just looking at the state of the DCU and just doing a Christmas special based on kind of people's views on the DCU and everything. That's really clever. It's different, but it's clever. And again, I think the first act kind of hit every point you were trying to hit there. But as it went on, I think it just kind of Again, Act 2, you're starting to, it's there, but you're starting to lose a few bits of it here and there. And Act 3 is just kind of like it's all over the place.
Yeah, I can see that.
That's what I'm coming down on. Again, I'm jealous of how great the first act is, though. The first act's a lot of fun. Again, it's just the first act's really fun.
And you know what, Dragon? I feel like a lot of the stuff I wanted to say about this in general was in the first act. Just the whole, like, oh, Affleck is obviously the Scrooge. And, just everything, kind of like the thesis statements on all the characters, both, in terms of the actors and the actual, and the characters they're playing, were kind of summed up in Act 1. So I'm not surprised that my thing kind of fell apart. But like I said, I kind of deliberately sort of spun my special itself into madness at the end to ensure that the meta narrative worked out where, I don't know, I wanted a bittersweet ending. You know what I mean? I wanted an ending where this special did not save the DCEU, where everyone had to move forward. And that's where I was kind of building, like I thought that the Golden Globes thing in Act 2 was kind of like the best thing I put into the in Act 3. That was a really, I was proud of that with the meta narrative point of view. I thought that reflected everyone's point in their career quite well.
Honestly, a part of me feels like if you just did the whole thing based on the meta stuff alone, I think the night narrative would have been tighter, and I think would have served your purposes more. But again,
I could see that. I could see that. Maybe next year. Who knows?
Maybe. But also, let me ask you this: Did I go too overboard with because the whole retroactive, like trying to fix some stuff in the DCU?
I don't necessarily think you went overboard in that regard. I just think like maybe it's kind of like a reoccurring thing with your pitches, Dragon. You throw in everything in the kitchen sink into it, and by a certain point, I get the feeling that it's not going to be an hour-long TV special. It's more going to be like a 2-hour movie. So that's really my only complaint with yours. I feel like there were a little bit too many moving parts, but no, I mean, I think that the time travel stuff that you had was handled really well and makes a lot of sense, especially with Flash as a connecting point with it all. So,
yeah.
Okay, well, folks, I think that is about it. Thank you for bearing with us on this marathon podcast. Jesus, that was an endeavor.
Yeah. So you want me to take us out then?
Yeah, by all means.
Okay, it's time to dash away, dash away, dash away. Oh, but as we wave goodbye, don't you cry. We'll be back again next time
with even more seasonal shenanigans.
La 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 la. Who's the villain now, Flash?
Where's Hamill?